Alrighty, hello. How's it going, everyone? How's it going? I wasn't supposed to have that open yet. Today, we are going to continue what we always do: yap our brains out and chat and figure it out as we go along, because that is where I thrive. I thrive in not knowing what I'm doing, never knowing what I'm doing, but figuring it out as I go along. And hey, real, how's it going? Let me throw on some background music because I'm probably going to just yap for a bit and then I'll swap it up and do some React content. But for now, let me just throw on some background music and we'll do that in a little bit of yapping. I was about to fall asleep when I got the stream notification. It's all good. I know I started a little bit late today. Well, actually, to be fair, this is the time I normally start at. But the past, like last week, I was streaming a little earlier because I had the ability to. I'm gonna try streaming a little earlier when I can. But yeah, this is usually around my normal start time. But yeah, I mean, if you're tired, man, get some sleep. There's always VODs if you're interested, and if not, then there's always another time. Also, I've messed with a little bit of my settings. I want to try seeing if I can fix it. But I probably should have did that off stream. Either way, it's early for you, 6:45 a.m. Holy moly. It's 8:14 p.m. for me here in America land, so my nighttime is your guys' early morning. But man, I I have lined up some videos to watch. It's 5:15 a.m. Got your first work day next week. Hopefully everything works out. Living on the other side of the earth. True. Oh wait, I forgot. I'm supposed to say the generic American thing. What? Other countries outside of America exist? Oh, I'm shocked. There we go. I said the American thing. But I have a few videos that I'm gonna watch today that I'm gonna open up in a little bit. Like I said, I'm just gonna yap for a bit. Should I put my Skelly boy right in the middle? I'll just probably leave him chilling in the corner. Why not? Why not? Those lives where some cool dinosaurs live. True. And geography, the biggest nemesis. I'm pretty sure I could name almost all the states, but if you were to have me look at a map of like EU, I could maybe name a handful. Look, they don't teach us how to do geography in school in America, okay? We're too busy dodging bullets. We don't have time to learn where places are on the map. I can't even name 10 states, but name many countries. Fair. but the videos I have today to watch are some that were recommended to me on my YouTube channel. Since I can do a self shill again at youtube.com/crack skulls. I am now uploading VODs that are cut down into edited videos. And if you watch it, you can like, comment, and subscribe. There we go. Did I do the thing? Look at Nays. What a cool dude. And in the videos that I have been uploading, I've been actually uploading some Uma Musume stuff since I've kind of been obsessed with Uma Musume. And some people recommended me to watch more of the actual horses because I accidentally watched about the horse girls last time. And for some reason, people seem to like that video and they want me to watch more. So I am a man of the people and I will give the people what they ask for. And if people want me to watch more horse girl or horses based off of horse girls, no wait, reverse that. Horse girls based off of horses, then I shall comply. But I'm gonna give it. I'll give it about the 10-minute mark until I swap to videos, just so that way stream can be live for a little bit. I can yap for a little bit. You should become president. Ooh, do I go there? How Monka TOS do I go? I was gonna make a really crude joke, but I won't. Vote skulls. I would be an awful president, to be fair. I am not someone that is a leader. I'm someone who just is a chill in the corner and mind my own business kind of guy. Run for the pirate party and I'll support it. Yar har fiddly dee. Being a pirate is alright with me. That's the only pirate I know. By the way, I finally decided to join your Discord. Oh, welcome, welcome. To be fair, I don't really do much with my Discord. I chat with the people that message me every now and then, and I just pretty much post when I'm going live. Like I give a heads up, like, hey, going live in 30 minutes or so. And there's like meme channels and there's a react channel that people can drop things they want me to react to. All that good stuff. It looks cool and organized. I have to thank my mods for that. My mods took care of that for me because I had no idea how to do it myself. Azuma and Nays were the main two that helped me with that, so all credit goes to them. I'm just a guy that turns on stream and yaps and talks and says a haha every now and then. They're the brains. Oh, hydrate? Okay, I got you. I got some water here. We did it. We got the hydrate in. Look at me go. Alrighty. At the 10-minute mark, I'm going to start the first video because, like I said, I wanted to give it a little bit of time. Let people join in. Let people start to relax. I get to be lazy and lean back in my chair and drink Dr. Pepper. You know, everything works out great. I gotta be lazy, which is the story of my life. Why did the music kind of end perfectly there? You know, I'm not gonna question it. I wish I'd be allowed to spam it 5-8 times so you could take 5 to 8 gulps. Funnily enough, I used to have it unrestricted and people spammed it, so that made me have to restrict it because people would go, well, you need to hydrate. I spent the points. And so we had to put a restriction because a lot of people were spamming it. That happened in the past, though. That was probably a couple years ago now. Because I took a huge streaming break. Should do a drinking stream with reactions. I actually did that. That's about a month ago now. It was 4th of July. 4th of July, America's birthday. I did a drinking react stream, and then I think I ended the stream doing some Uma Musume. I forget. Love to see you chug a whole bottle of water. I mean, that'd probably be cooler if I actually had a face cam. Just seeing a skeleton here, you just see him bouncing, and you'll just hear like glug glug, and that'll be it. I missed it. It's all right. I technically still have more alcohol, so maybe I'll do maybe this coming Friday I'll do a drinking react stream, so that way on the weekend Skull's drunk as big Monka TOS. Maybe sometimes. I mean, the skeleton is also cool. You don't need a face cam. True, 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 true. Alrighty. I'm going to now pause the music and get the video ready because, like I said, I am a man of the people, and the people have asked me to react to more actual horses that the horse girls were based off of. So I shall be doing that today. I watched Gold Ship because it was an accident, but I watched it and I was educated and learned more about horses. So now we are going to watch two more today. The first one being about Haru Urara, the underdog of Uma Musume. Let's get started. I'm hoping to learn and I'm hoping to be educated so that way I can be the master of horses. I do know a little bit because I've watched other videos by this point. So I know some things, but let's learn together. Let's start it.
Uma Musume is a game about drive, determination, and the ability to not quit even after you've failed countless times. Training your favorite Uma is no easy feat, and the pursuit to rank higher and higher is a never-ending cycle of risk and reward. I've dropped way too many hours into this game at this point,
now.
And still find myself determined.
Wait, this man has 1200 speed and 1150 wit. I've never gotten that much wit, though I did get a Bakushin win.
Each and every time I run to hit a goal that I have set in mind. Even when I'm doing something monotonous like farming for good parent stats, I still try to make a run as smooth as I can.
Respectable.
While racing other Umas that I had obtained, there was one that stood out to me in particular. And no, it's not Bakushin. She is a speed bot and literally easy as hell to train.
I did get a win with the 1-star Bakushin just by spamming speed, so can confirm.
I'm talking about Haru Urara, the bright-eyed, pint-sized Uma with a heart of gold and a dream. In the anime, she's a friend of our main protagonist, Special Week, and a determined Uma despite her bubbly exterior. True. Actually, speaking of which, I've been playing Uma religiously, but normally games draw me in with their story-based content. Surely a game about racing horse girls can't have that much lore.
Okay, I don't know about the lore, but I will say the gameplay alone is what has drawn me in. I am not only addicted to it, jokingly addicted, not actually addicted, but not only am I like super into it, but it is so fun. And I can't really explain. If someone were to ask me, why is it so much fun? I usually just have to say, play it. Play it for yourself and you'll find out. And if it's not your cup of tea, then it's not your cup of tea. But overall, it's a lot of fun. Okay, I think I'll go to sleep. I wish to stay longer, but I'm almost falling asleep. It's all good, man. Have a good night. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. All right, let's continue.
Right? That's initially what I thought. But oh boy, was I wrong about that. Each and every Uma are based on real Japanese racehorses.
I've learned that now.
Even the rights to the names of these horses pair with their respective characters had to be obtained from their rightful owners.
And the owners said okay, and they did it free of charge, which I learned in the Mugen video. So, props to those guys.
Haru Urara is a racehorse that is still alive today, and his story is one clearly reflected in our game. Haru Urara, the actual racehorse, debuted on November 17, 1998 at the Kochi racetrack.
1998? I was only like 102 by then.
Like all debuts, this one was also met with anticipation for the horse's performance. In this race, Urara would place 5th and dead last, a display of potential only to be brought down with an unrelenting loss. For most, this would be seen as a comeback story, one where Urara rises to the top, like they do in our game. But unfortunately, this would not be the case. Over the next 6 years, from 1998 to 2004, Haru Urara would suffer a total of 113 losses on the racetrack.
You know what though? The determination to keep going no matter how much you lose is impressive in and of itself.
A total record of 0-113. So, you may be asking yourself, why isn't Uma named after a horse with such a terrible track record even in this game? Well, the answer to that actually lies in the training and races that you conduct with Urara in-game. When training any Uma, you're tasked with completing certain objectives in order to progress further. Some are
True.
placing in races, or sometimes even taking first place. Others are more simple tasks, like accumulating fans from placement or wins in races. For Urara, her final race before the Ura finale is the Arima Kinen. However, unlike the other Umas, there's no requirement for placement whatsoever.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't Urara run before, but I failed. I need to get a full Urara run.
In the game, you will more than likely place dead last in the race, ending 16th. Urara is a dirt racer who specializes as a front runner in both sprint and mile-long races, but this is a long-distance race on a turf track rather.
Oh, so she's already set to lose to begin with. So it's going to be actually pretty difficult to get a win. Ooh, I smell a challenge. Oh, I should do that. I should do a stream, a fully dedicated Urara stream, to where I try to get Urara a win. That'll probably be a future stream.
Than a dirt one. Oh yeah, that's one more thing. For whatever ungodly reason, if you set her as a front runner, she just wins. I don't know why this is, but it's a little
Wait.
Easter egg in the game, I guess.
Really? Thanks for the tip.
This crushing defeat for Urara is devastating to her in the game, but in the end, she's happy to even have participated. So I'm sure it comes as a shock when the next turn results in you entering the Ura finale series. In-game, she's able to participate not because of placement, but because of her devout following and overall popularity. This is a direct reflection.
That's why she, a part of her career completion stuff is building fans. So this game is really intricate. It's so damn good.
Of real-life events once again. Although Urara never took home a victory on the track, this racehorse had one of the largest fan bases of their era. Remember the Kochi racetrack I mentioned earlier, the one where Urara initially debuted? Well, this underdog attracted a surge of visitors to the track unlike anything people had witnessed before. 3,000 people gathered outside the racetrack for Urara's final race in 2004. It was such an overwhelming amount that the people who ran the track had to open it early to allow people in. In addition, a total of 13,000 spectators also flocked to see Urara's final race in person. Fans not only loved this racehorse, but they believed in Urara's abilities firmly. A total sum of 121 million yen was used to bet in the favor of Urara winning.
And not only that, but they knew she was going to lose, more than likely with that record, and this was her retirement race. So they put in that money with just hopes and dreams. Respectable.
This wasn't anything new either. Fans of Urara would always gather and bet on him winning with a small chance that a miracle could happen. A tale of an underdog who never gave up fighting, despite all odds being stacked against them. The embodiment of this endless persistence and dedication to perseverance is personified in a bubbly, energetic Uma who loves racing and gives every competition her all. I was already invested in Urara just by this little Easter egg, but reading more into the history of what inspired her only made me more dedicated to win. I swear to you, there is a f***ing way to win the Arima Kinen, and I will make a goddamn video on it when I'm able to beat it. This little bean deserves the absolute world, and I hope this video encourages all of you to race her too. If I find any more interesting topics like this in Uma Musume, I'll definitely make a small video about it in the future. If you have any Umas that you'd like me to cover, be sure to let me know. I'd love
Alcondor Pasa. Alcondor Pasa's best girl. Pyrrhix, let me give this man a sub and a like. Alcondor Pasa. That's what I say to you, good friend. And this is a bit of a short video, but let's finish it out.
to hear who your favorite Uma is, or which Uma has a rich history that I can dive into in the future. For now, it's back to the stables for me. I gotta keep grinding for good parent stats on a Guri Cap too, so wish me luck on that one. Thank you all for joining me, trainers, and as always, I'll see you all in the next one.
True and real. Such a good video. I'm telling you, man, I am way, way too obsessed with Uma Musume for some reason. I can't put my finger on it, but the game has captured me like no game has captured me in a while. And it's fun. What can I say? It's fun. All right. I'm gonna copy the link and just put it in chat. Bada bing, bada boom. If anyone ever wants to watch the guy or sub to the guy, there it is. All right. Let me start setting up for the next video because you know it, I know it, Everyone knows it. It's another
A
Uma
common
Musume video. All right, let me set this bad boy up. Open up YouTube Capture. As a man of the people, I gave everyone what they want, and we are now learning more horses. Thanks to the recommendations in YouTube, and thanks to Uma Musume. Let's go. That is not what I meant to click. Why do I do that every single time? I don't know, but we'll one day figure that out.
A common theme in Uma Musume is inspiration of past generations. In previous videos, we've covered the inspiration of Tokai Teo by Simbali Rudolph, a nod to real-life
haven't
events
seen
and a
that one
source
yet.
of motivation for Teo to try her absolute best. In doing so, Teo would inspire the main characters of Season 3, Kita
Should I do a Teo run? I don't have a Teo, but I think I can get one. I'm pretty sure.
Sun Black and Satono Diamond. Though their stories will be saved for future videos to come, today I wanted to focus on a Season 1 fan favorite from the anime, one who inspired Special Week and became her closest friend. Once more, just like all Umas, this story is based on real-life events. This is the story of Silent Suzuka, the runaway from another dimension who dominated the race course.
She has 2 3-star versions. Oh, Teo? Okay.
Silent Suzuka was born on May 1st, 1994, in the town of Biratori, Hokkaido. Just like our previous video with Tokai Teo, Silent Suzuka was a stallion with a legacy continued on from his sire. Suzuka's sire was Sunday Silence, an American racehorse who retired with a total
America!
of 10 races, with the lowest placement being second out of all of them. Interestingly, despite being a horse from the United States, Sunday Silence would find himself venturing to Japan.
You can tell that horse had a burger or two. You can see the American on this horse.
Several factors played a role in Sunday Silence's transfer to Japanese soil. At the time, Sunday Silence was named Horse of the Year in 1989 after winning the Kentucky Derby. Due to the dominating record of Sunday's career, it caught the attention of Zenga Yoshida, a prominent Japanese breeder who had already invested in Sunday Silence. Arthur Hancock III, the owner of the farm Sunday Silence was born on, was struggling with financial difficulties at the time. Due to this,
He
and lack
sold
of
the
interest
horse.
from American breeders, Yoshida would claim ownership of Sunday Silence, taking him back to Japan. This wasn't to race Sunday, but instead to make him a breeding stud for future race horses.
Oh, smart. I didn't even consider that. That you could get an older racehorse not to race it, but to breed it for more racehorses. That's big brain.
Low interest was also present in America due to an injury Sunday sustained following his retirement. Ironically, the same decorated horse who has met with skepticism from American breeders would lead to be one of the most successful sires for the future of Japanese horse racing.
They saw Suzuka's potential and they capitalized on it. Smart.
Silent Suzuka would debut on February 1st, 1997 in Kyoto. Suzuka would take first place in this race, catching the eye of spectators with his debut. This wasn't a normal victory that people would see from a maiden race, but instead a complete blowout. Silent Suzuka would win this 1600-meter race by 7 whole lengths,
Damn.
a dominating performance of speed on a turf-based racecourse. Even from an early age, Suzuka showed promise on turf-based tracks. This race would make Silent Suzuka a fan favorite. However, unlike his maiden debut, the remainder of the year wouldn't be so impactful. Over the following races that Suzuka would participate in, ranging from March 2nd, 1997 to December 14th, 1997, we'd see Suzuka experience highs and lows of his racing career. Suzuka would only win 2 of the 8 following races, with the lowest placement being 15 at the Mile Championships in Kyoto.
The fall
This,
off.
surprisingly enough, is all too common for Japanese racehorses. As I've stated in previous videos, the odds of a horse winning a race at all is already slim to begin with. Most horses don't even reach 10 total races in their career, let
Wait, really? Only 10? I didn't know that. Man, look at me. I'm becoming an educational channel.
alone persevere past that point. Suzuka's 1997 race history has a multitude of factors that led to losing the race. In the Yayoi Show, Suzuka's second race, held on March 2nd, 1997, Suzuka would go under the gate before the race started.
And then there's Gold Chip. To be fair, Gold Chip is an anomaly. a respectable one, but still an anomaly. Also, I like he's just ready to race. Look at him. A gate can't hold him back. He's ready to go. Let him free.
Started, shaking the jockey and resulting in a low placement. After a sequence of 2 wins following the Yayoi show, Suzuka's new aim would be the Tokyo Yushun, or the Japanese Derby. Unfortunately, Suzuka would once more fall short of victory, placing
Aww.
9th overall. At Suzuka's following race, the Kobe Shimbunhai, he showed promise, hanging towards the front until the home stretch. This seeming victory would be thwarted by Matikane Fukukitaru, who would overtake Suzuka in the final spurt. In the 2 races that followed, Suzuka would change jockeys from Hiroyuki Uemura, who'd been with Suzuka since his debut, to Hiroshi Kawachi.
I'm curious. What roles, like how big of a role does a jockey play? Obviously, I know you want someone who's like small and thin, so that way it doesn't affect the weight on the horse. And I know you obviously need them to like steer the horse. But I wonder how big of a difference a jockey makes. Like, what makes one jockey better than another jockey? A jockey's almost a pilot. Yeah. I guess what I'm just asking is what constitutes a good jockey outside of like weight and like being kind of like smaller.
Hiroyuki would express his grievance with Suzuka failing to cooperate with his instructions. Over the course of multiple races, Suzuka would not respond well to his jockey's commands. This
He revolted against his jockey? Damn.
change will result in 2 more low placements for Suzuka. Just like with Hiroyuki, Kawachi also faced similar issues when trying to work with Suzuka as well. Silent Suzuka would prove to be difficult to work with for yet another jockey.
A temperamental horse is always a tricky situation.
Resulting in another set of low placements in future races, these being the Autumn Tenno Show and the Mile Championships held in 1997. In addition to the jockey's difficulty to cooperate with Suzuka, his racing style was also not yet refined as well. Silent Suzuka had an odd racing style where he'd advance to the front of the pack only to lose steam and fall behind as the race continued.
Had to up his stamina. I experienced that yesterday in a Super Creek run. Didn't have enough stamina, gassed out. Shame.
Following the string of defeats, Kawachi would be replaced by Yutaka Take, the jockey who, for all but one future race, would be by Suzuka's side as his racing career continued into 1998. This
The horse chooses the jockey.
would be the point where Suzuka would go from an average racehorse to one of the greatest horses to ever emerge from Japan. In the anime, Silent Suzuka changes teams from Team Riel to Team Spica, a nod to the exchange of jockeys Suzuka would experience in his real career. In the anime, it is stated that Suzuka disobeyed orders by ignoring her instructions to conserve energy, causing a rift between the trainer and Uma. Another parallel between the anime and real-life events are the circumstances leading up to Suzuka's transfer.
I will say this real quick since I've mentioned it in other Uma videos that I've reacted to. I've talked about wanting to watch the anime. I have now decided that I am indeed watching the anime. So I don't know if I want to do that. I know on Kick you can watch anime and react to anime. So maybe I might make a Kick account and do that. I'm not sure though. I don't want to say anything for sure or set things in stone, but it is something I am considering.
The jockeys previous to Take, reflected in Team Riel, would not understand how to fully harmonize with Silent Suzuka, leaving untapped potential yet to be seen. Suzuka's transfer to Yutaka Take, reflected in her transfer to Team Spica, would showcase the true potential that Silent Suzuka had, and the perseverance to bring out the absolute best of his racing capabilities. Season 1 of Uma Musume highlights Suzuka's dominating maiden debut and the final 2 races of
Pasa. You know I gotta pause the video and see when I see a pasa and instantly point it out. If you look at my currently if you look at my current uploaded video, there's a pasa in there. It's Pasa's best girl. Fight me.
his career, these being the Mainichi Okan and the Autumn Tenno show in 1998. In addition to these 2 highlighted races, 1998 would prove to be a dominating year for Silent Suzuka. In the 5 previous races Suzuka participated in, he'd place first in every single one. Not only this, but in addition to these dominating victories, 2 would be record-setting times. Suzuka's win streak in 1998 would also lead to a surge of interest in Japanese horse racing overall. The period in which Suzuka raced would be dubbed as the golden age for race horses, with Suzuka being a major driving factor in revitalizing the popularity of the sport. Suzuka wasn't only winning races, but doing so by a wide margin against his competitors.
It's impressive.
This would earn Suzuka the title of being the runaway from another dimension. And on May 30th,
That's a cool nickname. I gotta admit, that's a cool nickname.
1998, that title would prove fitting for Silent Suzuka. At this point, Suzuka remained as an undefeated racehorse.
Wait.
Fitting for Silent Suzuka.
Huzzah!
At this point, Suzuka remained as an undefeated racehorse for 3 consecutive races in a row, these being the Valentine Stakes, Nakayama Kinen, and the Kokura Daishin, where Suzuka would set a record time. Popularity for Suzuka had already skyrocketed, resulting in high favor for Suzuka to win the upcoming G2 race. Despite Suzuka's popularity, the pool of horses he'd compete against were a very strong roster in their own regard. Suzuka would be put against multiple racehorses with winning streaks of their own, most notably Taiki Eldorado and Midnight Bet. For context, the Kinko Show, the race Suzuka would participate in, had a record time of 2 minutes 1.4 seconds. This meant that in order to ensure victory, Suzuka would need to at least cross the finish line by the 2-minute mark. No one would expect just how much lower Suzuka would set this time. Suzuka's running style is a gamble in itself, a risky method that has a horse sprint at full speed right out of the gate.
Oh, so it's run as fast as you can at the start and then kind of try to hold that momentum throughout the entire race, even though you're going to slowly start gassing out. See if you could just use that early spurt to carry you all the way through. Smart strategy. I like it. I like it.
Utilization of this technique, dubbed as the runaway method, were used by horses who either disliked physical fights or had a strong desire to run ahead of the pack. For Silent Suzuka, his reason would be the latter. Despite the risky method, Suzuka remained at the front of the pack by a large margin. This race will result in Suzuka's final time being 1 minute and 57 seconds.
That's fast. But not only that, that just goes to show that's something I try to internalize myself, is that if you have your own unique style, it's best to just go with it. Because there's a weird side tangent, by the way, warning, side tangent. I have a bad habit of doing things a unique way and then going like, well, everyone else is kind of like doing this a different way. Maybe I should not do it my way and try someone else's way. I try to fight that urge to do that because it's more beneficial to do it in a unique way. And that's the hill I'm going to die on, because it's better to be unique, even if it's wrong, quote unquote, than to just follow the crowd. Depends on the situation, of course, but that's something I try to keep in my mind. And Suzuka proves that to me, that if you have your own unique style, roll with it.
With Midnight Bet, the second place recipient, clocking in a time of 1 minute and 59 seconds. Silent Suzuka has set a dominating record time, beating Bet by distance, with the official documentation stating by 11 horse lengths. This victory would solidify Suzuka's 4th consecutive win in 1998. On July 12th of the same year, Suzuka would compete in the Takarazuka Kinen, a G1 race that would truly test Suzuka's fighting spirit.
Awesome.
Up until this point in his career, Suzuka had yet to claim a victory in a G1 competition, with the previous 4 victories being either G2 or G3 races. This race would also prove difficult due to Take being unable to jockey Suzuka. Originally, due to the distance of the Takarazuka Kinen, Silent Suzuka's handler would opt to not race him and instead plan to set the goal of winning the Autumn Tenno show later on in the year. Due to this, Take would instead jockey Air Groove for the Takarazuka Kinen.
I just did an Air Groove one, and I won first try.
This was the plan, until by sudden request of Suzuka's owner, he was suddenly registered for the G1 race. Due to the short time between registration and
Oh, so it's a swap out. Suzuka wasn't even supposed to run this race. Okay.
the race day, Suzuka was paired with Katsumi Minai. Worry quickly circulated due to Suzuka's history of previous handlers, and if he'd be able to squeeze a victory with Katsumi as his jockey. Luckily for Suzuka, Katsumi was a well-seasoned jockey, who had worked with multiple famous racehorses, most notably Tamamo Cross and Oguri Cap. Even with the new jockey,
Nice.
Suzuka would manage to claim a victory for his 5th consecutive race in a row.
Oguri Cap's really good too in the game. She's won me a lot of races, and she's won me a lot of like daily races and stuff too. Oguri Cap OP.
Katsumi had later recounted that it was as if the horse ran on his own. The harmonization between jockey and racehorse was clearly present, and Katsumi highly rated Suzuka's overall capabilities on the racetrack. By this point, Suzuka was able to control his pace much more effectively, reducing the probability of running out of stamina mid-race. Suzuka would instead sprint at high speed right out of the gate, slow down and regain stamina midway through.
Can we call that the Suzu style? I feel like that's a cool name. You burst right out the gate Suzu style.
And spurt on the final straight. With this being the final G1 victory for Katsumi Minai, he retired shortly after the Takarazuka Kinen, aiding Suzuka to maintain his chain of first place finishes.
Nice.
Following the Takarazuka Kinen, Suzuka would participate in the Mainichi Crown. As stated previously, a race that was showcased in Uma Musume Season 1, Silent Suzuka will be put once more against a set of strong competitors. In this race, most notably, Grass Wonder and El Condor Pasa.
You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. I don't care if I'm repeating myself. Pasa is best girl. Look at her. She's so adorable. And that mask? She's so cool.
This race was broadcasted to over 130,000 people, despite
At this point, you need a Pasa emote? Maybe.
it being a G2 race. As personified in the anime, Silent Suzuka would once more show clear domination in this race, beating both Grass Wonder and El Condor Pasa by a decent margin.
No!
In post-interviews held with Pasa's jockey, he would state that it was as if he couldn't even step on Suzuka's shadow, showcasing the sheer strength that Suzuka had to maintain a lead over strong competitors.
Grass Wonder struggled to make even third? Oh, man.
This victory would mark Suzuka's 6th consecutive win in 1998, but would have much deeper meaning to Japanese horse racing. At the time, there was an order in place to protect Japan's domestic horse racing industry. A rule had been established preventing foreign imported horses from participating in G1 races.
Oh no, since Suzuka was American.
This was to avoid the now common practice of purchasing overseas horses for a cheap price that displayed strong pedigrees and racing potential. Both El Condor Pasa and Grass Wonder were product of this practice.
Oh right, I forgot about that too.
The fear was present that with an influx of foreign horses, the reputation of Japanese ranches would plummet, as well as the training methods needed to the Japanese people. Silent Suzuka would shatter.
Can we just go back a second? Look how muscular that horse is on the right. That is a beefy boy right there. Holy moly.
Plummet, as well as the training methods needed to the Japanese people. Silent Suzuka would shatter these notions with his dominating victory at the Mainichi Okan, proving once more that horses born and raised in Japan could very well be fierce competitors in their own regard.
Oh wait, that's right. I forgot. Silent Suzuka was the child, right? Of the original Suzuka? I'm getting names mixed up now. Because the original was American that was used to breed with. That's right. I forgot that part.
This victory would serve as an opportunity to lift the ban on foreign horses participating in G1 races. Silent Suzuka's career was at an all-time high, but unfortunately, this would be where his luck would run out. With a
Silent Sunday, thank you. I mixed up names. Silent Sunday was the father to Silent Suzuka. Thank you, Naze.
staggering growth in popularity and thousands of adoring fans, Silent Suzuka will participate in the Autumn Tenno show. Suzuka had previously participated in the Autumn Tenno show a year prior. However, he had an unremarkable placement, finishing 6th overall. This time, Yutaka Take and Suzuka went into the race with high spirits, ready to show the audience yet another dominating victory. This would mark Suzuka's 7th consecutive win overall if he were to place first in this race.
Wait, so does that make technically Silent Suzuka a Hafu? Food for thought.
At the start of the race, as the anime and real footage showcased, Suzuka wasn't only in the lead, but was in the lead by an incredibly large margin. The JRA race footage shows that Suzuka was so far in front of the pack that even a wide shot of all the competitors could barely capture Suzuka's staggering lead. This was met with cheers for Suzuka to set yet another dominant victory once more. However, as Suzuka continued to run, everything suddenly changed.
Oh no.
Suzuka
Don't tell me she got injured or he got injured for the horse.
began to decelerate, slowly grinding to a halt as his competitors passed him. In the anime, Suzuka also runs irregularly, as if she lost her balance and tempo. Mid-race, Suzuka had fractured his left front leg.
Oh, that's sad, man. Leg injuries on horses are pretty much the nail in the coffin for their careers. Not always, but a lot of the times.
Rendering him unable to finish the race. An injury mid-race can be dangerous for both the horse and their jockey. An example of this would be Reischauer's mid-fracture causing his jockey, Matoba, to sustain injury with the fall. Suzuka, despite being injured, didn't topple and fall, but instead, as Take describes, it was as if Suzuka had attempted to protect him, trying all he could to not cause Take injury with a high-speed tumble.
Respect. That actually sent a chill up my spine. That was a good boy. That's a good boy.
Race records for Suzuka show that he did not finish this race, and instead was transported off the racetrack for further examination. Later analysis of this footage revealed that this injury could have been avoided. It seemed as though Suzuka had run faster than his body could handle, and the repeated stress on his leg finally gave way.
He was so good that he got hurt because he was too good? Man.
In the anime, we see Silent Suzuka begin to recover from these injuries and eventually return to the track once again. But this is all to pay respect to Silent Suzuka's legacy. It's common belief that horses will rebel and buckle if they feel threatened, or accelerate irregularly if their jockeys can't control them. This, however, was not the case for Suzuka. Take and Suzuka had an extensive history together, and encountered little to no conflict when on the race course. Even recounts from Take reveal that Suzuka didn't show any signs of irregularity in behavior, he just accelerated on his own. This led many to believe that Suzuka simply wanted to see how fast he could go, which, once more, is clearly personified in Uma Musume. Unfortunately, at the age of 4 years
Just
old,
too good.
Silent Suzuka, due to his injury in the Autumn 10 no-show, would be euthanized, ending a career with an
Oh, no, that's actually sad. Oh, I wasn't expecting that ending. I mean, if the horse was suffering, it makes sense, but still sad to hear.
undefeated year of racing. Unsurprisingly, this event came as a major shock to fans of Japanese horse racing. A Fuji TV announcer's phrase, "the Sunday of Silence," would become the symbol of this tragedy. The Autumn 10 no-show would take place on November 1st, 1998, which fell on a Sunday. This phrase, "the Sunday of Silence," would pay respects to the day of Suzuka's passing, and also the legacy that he came from, being an offspring of Sunday silence. To many, Suzuka's abrupt death was one of the biggest what-ifs in horse racing history. Suzuka had finally found a style which suited him, a jockey who he trusted dearly, and had gained the adoration of thousands. All these achievements alongside the prospect of even more wins snuffed out in an
I had the name wrong. That's fine. You were closer than I was. You know, Silent Suzuka may have went out, but they went out a winner. They went out a champion.
instant. Uma Musume did a great job with showcasing Suzuka's legacy in the anime. As mentioned earlier, instead of simply writing Suzuka out of the series, she instead remains a motivator for Special Week and the rest of Team Spica. Uma Musume tends to shy away from creating scenarios that didn't occur in real-life records, but instead aim to honor the legacy that was left behind by racehorses who met an abrupt end. Silent Suzuka and Reischauer are both examples of this. Although they still exist in the series, their stories have ended long ago. A touching legacy hidden in the anime is Special Week and Suzuka's friendship.
Yeah, even though they're gone, a part of them lives on as anime horse girls. And to be fair, if it wasn't for the anime horse girls, I never would have heard of them. So it's kind of cool and special that they get to live on through these characters.
This is a nod to Take's following race in the Autumn Tenno show.
It just reminds me of that saying, as long as one person remembers you, you never truly die.
Where alongside Special Week, Take would bring home a first place finish a year after Suzuka's tragic incident, a touching legacy displayed by a tight bond that these two Uma share while training in Tracen Academy. Suzuka's legacy is also highlighted in Uma Musume Pretty Derby, where the final race in her career before the Ura finale is the Autumn Tenno show, giving players a chance to allow her to finish a race that she never would. The impact of Suzuka's death hit people incredibly hard. A recount from Junko Hosoe, a race commentator who also appears in Uma Musume, states that people flooded the phone lines of the JRA Tokyo racecourse, all inquiring if Suzuka was okay. Amazingly, the JRA did not turn these callers away. The internet wasn't as widespread at this time, so instead, the JRA spent the entire day relaying Suzuka's situation to concerned fans.
That's respectable too. Instead of them just getting annoyed and being like, "This is, you know, this is this isn't the place to call to know about the updated horses. We're just the company that runs the races. Why are you bothering us?" They took time out of their day to let people know of what was going on. It's impressive. I usually do not expect good things from corpos, so it's cool when you actually hear that sometimes, very rarely, they have a human side.
Urging them to pray for Suzuka's swift recovery. Suzuka's passing also led to the creation of memorials and even a dedicated song to honor him. This song is entitled Tenma no Yoni, like a Pegasus. Today, fans of Suzuka can visit the Chukyo racecourse to honor and pay respects to his legacy, a racehorse who redefined Japanese horse racing and left behind a string of triumphant victories, personified in Uma Musume by a diligent Uma with a deep compassion for her friends and a drive to always give it her all. This was the story of Silent Suzuka, a career which ended
this
abruptly,
was really
but
cool.
would leave behind a legacy that would inspire future generations to come. Who should I cover next in this series, and what was your favorite part? Be sure to let me know in
Condor
the
Pasa.
comment section down below. Thank you all for joining me, and as always, I will see you all in the next one.
Another great video. I'm learning so much about horses, and I'm here for it every single time. Let's drop this bad boy a like real quick. Bam. Alrighty, so now that we got, let me close this. Now that we got some more of the chill and relaxed videos out of the way, it's time for your favorite, my favorite, everyone's favorite, a touch and sprinkling of drama. All right. Let me open this up and pause it. Nice and pause. Are you paused? Or are you going to open up? All right. So, since this seems to be the buzz everywhere, I have quite a few videos touching into the Visa MasterCard situation of how these credit card companies or how these companies are trying to leverage their position to control people and what they do and what they purchase, and how they're essentially monopolizing and using a through force of power, trying to say what you can and cannot purchase. And I have a few videos lined up talking about it, and I wanted to go through each one and kind of just give a different little viewpoints. The first one is from Asmongold here, and I like Asmongold. I think he's a really smart guy. I like to, and I want to hear his opinion on this, and based my, maybe chime in a little with my thought or two, but let's see what he has to say.
Hi guys, it's me again, and
Quick side note. His scuffed camera and scuffed audio is S tier. I don't know why. It just reminds me of back in the day. It reminds me of back in the day, early YouTube, when everyone's quality was scuffed, and that's just how it was. And me being a boomer from that era just kind of like makes me go like, man, I'm at home.
Today, we're going to talk about the parasite that is payment processors, primarily Visa and MasterCard. In between their very busy schedule of scamming random financially illiterate people into contracts with credit cards that have 30% interest, they've somehow also managed.
It reminds me of colleges trying to force uh, people who had barely turned 18 to go to college and being like, well, don't you want to go into debt for the rest of your life? Trust me, sign the dotted line. You want a higher education, don't you? Same scam.
To fuck up the internet at the same time. So recently, there's been a group called Collective Shout, which is, I know this might surprise you, a militant group of obnoxious Karens from, I believe, Australia, but let's be honest, it's going to be all over the world, that have gotten together to
Always Australia. Always Australia.
bully and attack Visa and MasterCard into refusing service with Steam and pressuring Steam to remove certain games off of Steam because these games hurt their feelings. Oh no, it's an incest game. Oh no, it's a fucking not safe for work game. It's a porn game.
My stance on it is if it's illegal, it should be removed. If it has stuff in it that is outright illegal in your country, it should be removed. But outside of that, it doesn't matter. Even if it's something gross, even if it's something you personally disagree with, even if it's something that you think shouldn't be there, if it doesn't break any laws and it is fiction, it should be up to the person if they want to purchase or not purchase that content. It should not be the government's place to tell you what to do, again, assuming it's not illegal. And it should not be any company or corporation's responsibility to tell you what you can or cannot do.
Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
True.
The thing is that, and this is the big issue that I have, I'm very agitated about this because I see where this is going. It begins with the incest games and it ends with whatever the fuck they want.
It's their foot in the door. It's their foot in the door because they start with something that is objectionable, like incest games, so they can say, well, look, this is gross. We don't want this. So that way you are put in a position to go, well, yeah, I know that is gross. And they'll be like, yeah, see, it is gross. You don't want it, right? You don't want that on your platform. And then you go, well, I guess, yeah, maybe we should remove that. No, it is no one's place to say what should or shouldn't be removed. Everyone is an adult. Everyone can make their own decisions. It's their foot in the door, so that way they can go for what they really want to go after, and that's control and that's power. They're using that as their Trojan horse to open the door, and you cannot allow them to open that door because if you give them an inch, they will take a mile.
And so if anybody remembers back in the 2000s, if anybody 3,000 years ago,
I'm a boomer too.
Whenever they were talking about how Grand Theft Auto is causing school shootings and these video games are causing this stuff.
Doom and Columbine. I'm old enough to remember that nonsense, that being all over the news, that being all over TV, them blaming that game. I remember it.
Wants to stop these disgusting fucking annoying
Mortal Kombat, yep, that was another big one too. Oh my goodness, it has blood, it has violence. There's going to be children trying to rip each other's spines out. We got to ban it.
Parents from being able to bully these processors into effectively not allowing us to play the video games that we want, not allowing us to consume the content that we want, and fundamentally, at a very, very basic level, limiting our freedom of expression through effectively looking at the chain, finding the weakest link in the chain, and taking as much advantage of it as possible.
Yeah, it's their foot in the door. It's their foot in the door to be able to exert control.
I want to say another thing. Collective Shout and every other Karen Incorporated group, every other bullshit advocacy group that's...
Asmund said it. Asmund Gold has said it before, and I agree 100%. There are two people in this world that cause all the problems, Karens and incels, and that is an Asmund Gold quote, and it is so true. Also, this pause face. That's a good pause.
trying to bully these payment processors, they are the symptom and they are not the disease. Because if you get rid of them, there's just going to be another one that replaces them that does the exact same fucking thing.
Yep.
The disease is the payment processors and the fact that they can act effectively as a cartel. They have total autonomy to deny service to anybody for any reason if they think that it will affect their brand.
100% true. That is not up to a corporation's job. That is up to the government to words. Come on, brain. That is up to the government to decide. If the government decides they want to ban certain things, they need to pass a law. And by passing a law, they can then start to incorporate it. It is not a corporation's job because the corporation is not held accountable to anyone. In the US, there's democratic processes that can be voted upon that can be used to either vote for or against a law. And a corporation, there is no accountability outside of the corporation itself. The people do not hold the corporation accountable. The government does. So if anything should be banned, even though I personally don't think it should be done through the government, not through a private corporation, because no one can hold them accountable.
Well, why don't we go ahead and think about this in any other utility or any other service? Imagine if you can't get electricity because, oh, well, you use that electricity to go on websites that people disagree with or they don't like. And I have no problem with them denying service to something that is illegal, by the way.
Yep,
I think that's
I
totally
agree.
okay. But whenever these people want to create their own moral legality and then use these payment processors as a pseudo-government to enforce it as a pretty much monopoly across the entire internet, that's not a free market, that's a fucking cartel.
Yep.
And I think they need to be regulated. I definitely do. And I think that's the only way that this actually solves itself. Now, obviously, it's great if we had new payment processors come into the space. And I know that a lot of people talk about crypto as a solution to this.
The thing with that, though, is that the payment processors hold such a monopoly that any upcoming company is going to struggle to get into the market because they will all close ranks and bullying them out. And it's happened before with other things, and it'll happen again.
Understand that. I personally think that you need to have more regulations for financial stuff, but that's a different conversation. The one thing that I think we can all agree on is that the current situation is bad. And anyway, so the issue that we have right now is that these payment processors are able to effectively limit our freedom of speech, limit our freedom of expression, tell us what we're allowed to see and what we're not allowed to see on the internet.
And that should not be up to them. It should be up to the people.
By denying service and refusing to do business with these different companies. Now, you might think that this is freedom of association, and to a certain degree you'd be right, but the problem is that it's not a free market. If it was a free market, you would have some companies that would be willing to do it and some companies that would not.
The free market doesn't exist. In a perfect world, the free market would exist, but it doesn't. All the free market does is whoever can control the market first and the most has complete control over the market, period. So a free market can never truly exist because those that rise to power will take control of it and control it. It'll never truly be free. I wish that wasn't the case. In my ideal world, the market would be free and everyone would be able to compete, but it just never works that way. And the way I know that is because in World of Warcraft, when I was new to the game and I was learning how to use the auction house, I was the person that would buy up all the materials and list them at an extremely higher price. Other people would come and undercut me to a more fair price. I would instantly buy them out and then put it back at a higher price. And I controlled the market for a few materials, and people paid my prices because I was the only one that had them listed. So I controlled the market on those materials and I was able to set the price and no one else could because I cornered that market. And that's how I made like a lot of my early tens of thousands of gold in like Wrath of the Lich King.
But the issue is because Visa and MasterCard control such a large market share of payment processing market, what that causes is it causes people to be forced effectively into using them as a service. And in the same way that you guys know this, if you live in an area that only has maybe one power service, or you live in an area that only has one internet service.
Cox Communications sucks.
Oftentimes that service is there are two outcomes, guys. It's either regulated or it's garbage. And sometimes it's both.
True.
But I can guarantee you one thing, it's certainly not good. And the fact is that I understand some people might be against regulation.
I'm one of them. I do not like regulation. I think regulation in a lot of the cases is bad, but at the same time, I am smart enough to know that regulation is a necessary evil. Now, when I say I don't like regulation, I don't mean I want corporations to dump all their toxic sludge into the river and go full uh, libertarian and be like, well, that's the company's right. I won't go that far. But if there's any purpose a government is supposed to serve, it is protecting and serving and doing for the people. And regulations should exist to protect and better and serve the people. And that is the point of regulations, and that's why they should exist. And even though there's a lot of regulations I do personally disagree with, overall, even if I disagree, they're still better for the people if they're done for the people.
But I've got to tell you, okay, if you're sitting on the internet using your smartphone complaining about regulation, you might as well just be a fish complaining about water. Everything is regulated.
Yep.
Your car is regulated, your phone is regulated, the battery in your phone is regulated, the data your phone receives is regulated. Everything in the world is regulated, but we're somehow supposed to think that, oh, wow, these billion-dollar companies that, by the way, how the fuck does a credit card company make money? Oh, that's right, by scamming stupid people who don't understand math
I was going to say scamming, but I decided not to, but he said it for me.
out of money, writing it off as a loss whenever they don't get the money back, and then being able to say that, oh, well, it's okay, we're not going to pay this off as a tax, because guess what? We didn't make any fucking money because we're signing contracts with massive interest rates to people that are financially illiterate. And so anyway, these companies exist as a parasite, okay? They are. They are a parasite. They steal money from people.
Yeah, they're the middleman. And they're annoying and unnecessary, but they exist. And if we want to purchase things, we have to go through them. I have my debit card right here, and it's a MasterCard. And what am I supposed to do? Just not use my own money? It's ridiculous.
They are awful. And anyway, now we have a situation that they are affecting our freedom of speech on the internet. They are affecting our freedom of expression on the internet wholesale. And it's only going to get worse. Because once these disgusting, fat, annoying, fucking, just Karens go and they realize, oh, it works one time, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna just say, oh, well, that's it. Well, I heard The View got canceled today.
Just directly wire it from the bank the old way. You see, technology was a mistake. Now, I don't condone anything he did, but Ted Kaczynski kind of had a point. I don't condone any of the bad stuff, but he wasn't completely wrong.
So after this, they're going to be fucking bored. So they're going to keep canceling and trying to bully these companies into doing even more things. And there's another not safe for work website. Oh, well, now there's another one. Oh, well, they shouldn't have to support porn. Yeah, they fucking should. The same as your internet provider should. The same as your electricity provider should. The same as your water provider should. Can you imagine if they decide to turn off your fucking water or your electricity?
Oh, I'm sorry, you looked at boobies online, and that we do not condone. Tisk, tisk, tisk. No water and electricity for you.
Because you're going to a porn website that they don't like. It's ridiculous. And so I think that we need to have a degree of accountability here. These companies enjoy a massive privilege in this market. They are effectively totally free to do whatever the fuck they want. And that is going to, unfortunately, negatively affect everybody else. And to be honest with you guys, how many of you know somebody who has credit card debt? It probably already has negatively affected people. And so
I
anyway,
do know people with credit card
my
debt.
video, what I'm talking about right now, is that I think we need to spread more awareness to this. More people need to know about this, because if it doesn't stop here, it's going to keep going into politics. It's going to keep going into different worldviews. It's going to go into religious stuff. It's going to go into every single aspect that you can possibly imagine.
And the reason for that is because the more power they can get, the more power they can reach for, and the more power they can get, it's never going to stop. They're never going to stop because it's always about power and control. One thing I always I talk about it nonstop, and because it just keeps proving right time and time again, is most things, no matter what it boils down to, Most people are after power and control, and whatever they're talking about, whatever ideology they're pushing, it always boils down to power and control. They want the power and they want the control, and they will use whatever vehicle that they have to drive, whether it be politics, whether it be, I don't know, social issues, anything that they can use to their advantage, they will take advantage of, because ultimately it comes down to them wanting power over you and control over you.
Because these companies are gun shy and they're afraid of any degree of pushback. So the best thing that you can do, by the way, is if there's ever an instance where people are trying to push for a payment processor to not do something, these companies are afraid of pushback and they're afraid of backlash. That's what they're fundamentally afraid of. So if you want to make it to where they don't do these things and they don't make these changes, you have to be louder than these screeching banshee, harpy, siren Karens. That's what you have to do. You have to do that. And if you don't, they're going to be a lot louder than you are.
Complain on Twitter. Or make a YouTube video complaining about it. Either one works.
And that's what's happened for the last 10 years. And luckily, now, especially in the past 3 years, the majority of the internet has basically said, hoes mad, too bad, and we've decided to ignore them. However, they have found, as I said, that one weak link, which is the payment processors. And again, they are awful, they're terrible, but they are a symptom and not the disease. We have to look at these payment processors, how much of a monopoly and everything that they control inside of any online transaction, inside of anything that you're doing in terms of money, and are they using that position in some way that is beneficial for everybody? Is this something that subverts people's expression, or is it something that hurts it? Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? And so I wanted to make this video, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it, because I feel like nobody else is saying anything. A lot of people might not understand this issue, or they might think, oh, well, it's just a rape game or something like that. Here's where they should draw the line. Is it illegal?
Exactly. Exactly. If it's illegal, obviously take it down. No one is questioning that. If something's illegal, remove it. If it's not, it's no one's business.
If it's illegal, then yeah, of course they shouldn't give it service. If it is, then yes, they should absolutely have to. It should be the exact same as an electricity company, as a phone company, as a internet company, as a water company, or anything else. The random debanking and removal of payment processing for certain people for certain ideological means is a massive problem, and it helps no one. And so anyway, except for them, obviously, because it gives them the power to censor things and effectively tell people what they're allowed to see on the internet, and effectively subvert the will of the people by acting as a pseudo-government because they're able to control this very small link in the pipeline.
What's the word for that? Crony capitalism, to where the companies try to control and act as a pseudo-government.
And so anyway, that's why I'm talking to you guys about this. I want everybody to be aware of this. I want people to see it, and I want you to be vigilant. And I can guarantee you, this is the worst thing. I can guarantee you that it's going to get worse.
Yep,
because people,
it is.
I don't think that there is enough awareness about this yet. I don't think.
I'm pessimistic. It is 1,000% going to get worse. That's what I expect, and that's what I fully think will happen. I don't see things getting better. Maybe if enough people complain about it, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm pessimistic.
I think that there's enough people talking about this, and I don't think people really understand this issue because there are still people who are afraid to speak out about it because they don't want to be seen as defending incest games. I have no problem defending incest games. I think that's totally fine. You want to play a fucking anime incest game on Steam? Go ahead.
My thought process is and always will be, if it doesn't hurt you or if it doesn't hurt anyone, and if it isn't illegal, I don't care what people do. Even if I don't like it, even if I don't agree with it, even if I personally find it abhorrent or disgusting, it is not my place to tell people what they can and can't do. If it is not illegal, it shouldn't matter. Live and let live is what I always go by.
That's okay. Nobody's getting hurt because guess what? It's not real. Imagine that. A video game doesn't hurt real people and it doesn't actually exist. So why is it that it's being regulated, and why is it that people are being told what they can and can't see, especially through this third party that shouldn't even be making these decisions to begin with? You want to talk about the brand for Visa or MasterCard, the only time I fucking hear about these companies is whenever they're being called into Congress to explain why they're trying to extort some mother of four out of $250,000 because of compounding interest and debt. It's outrageous. They're
Yep.
disgusting.
Not only that, but who elected them? Who said that they can essentially pass laws as if they're the government, or enforce rules as if they're the government?
Parasites, and I hope more people realize it, and we can actually push and have a degree of regulation and control on these people because they exist effectively. Again, guys, this is not a free market. Please do not say it's a free market. It is absolutely not a free market. The first thing that people who have control of a free market do, or have a majority share of a free market do, is they make sure that it's not free.
That's that's what I said earlier with the WoW analogy. And I owned I think they're called Eternals, the mats in Wrath of the Lich King, the essence, like Eternal Essence and the other essences. I controlled the market on so many of those things, and I made so much money by controlling those.
And that's exactly what they've been doing, and that's exactly the problem. It's the fact that there are not a lot of other competitors. They do effectively control the entire market.
Unironically, WoW taught me so much about marketing, and so much about, well, not marketing. Marketing is like advertising, but so much about how markets work, and how controlling or manipulating or abusing the market works. I remember I would sell economics. Thank you. I remember there was this guy who was trying to sell the things that I was trying to sell, and me and him were in an undercut war, and we would always undercut each other. And he one day whispered me, and he's like, "Hey man, I see you're always trying to sell this item. I'm always trying to sell this item, and we're always in an undercut war. How about I put it up for this day for this price, and if no one buys it, you can put it up on this day for this price, and I won't undercut you, and I'll leave you be, and you leave me be, and we both just try to sell without lowering the price more." And I was like, "Okay, sure, let's do it." And it worked. I sold my stuff, he sold his stuff, and we lived peacefully and just made a bunch of money. WoW has taught me so much about economics. It's crazy. Probably more than school did.
And they can effectively use that to force their will onto everybody else. And that's exactly what.
Congrats, you started a cartel. It was worth it. I was able to buy my friends mounts and stuff at the time, so
What's happened. So yes, Collective Shout is an annoying bunch of obnoxious, stupid Karens that nobody likes, probably not even themselves. That's why they're spending all day doing this. But, again, if you get rid of them, this is going to happen again. The real problem is the payment processors and the lack of regulation and accountability for what they're doing. So I don't really like this, oh, we can have their cake, you can have your cake and eat it too. Where, oh, well, these people, they don't get regulated at all, but they can regulate everybody else and decide whatever, whatever they accept and whatever they don't accept. This is not something as simple as, oh, well, baking a cake or whatever. This is a categorical rule that companies that have a complete monopoly inside of a market are exercising collectively. When companies act collectively,
they're a cartel,
and they behave in one specific way that is not, again, in accordance with the law, they are making their own laws, and they are not behaving as in a free market. They are acting like a cartel.
Yep.
They're colluding, and more people need to know about it. And in my opinion, I think there needs to be laws against it. I wanted to make this video and talk to you guys about it because I think not enough people know. But now you know. Visa and MasterCard can suck a fucking dick, and anybody that supports them is already a dick sucker, so I don't need to say that. Anyway,
Agreed.
Guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Go ahead, and I had to take my dad to a fucking cancer appointment today.
Oh, that's right. I did hear that. I forgot that they found Asmon's gold dad had cancer. I wish him a speedy recovery, man. It really sucks.
And so I was busy, which, by the way, oh my god. Just before I end the video, wow, no wonder they haven't cured cancer yet. This is the nicest fucking building I've ever seen in my life.
He's not wrong. He's actually not wrong.
Oh my god, I've been in Hilton hotels. that are less classy than this cancer facility. Oh my God, they're never curing that shit. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, that's for another video, and maybe I'll have my actual tinfoil hat on for that one.
Oh, I need to make a tinfoil hat, put it on my skeleton, remove the top hat, and put on a tinfoil hat. Because I mean, he's not wrong.
Unlike this video, which is unfortunately very, very real. Anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Alrighty, that was a good one. I do have more videos talking about the MasterCard stuff, and I want to slowly go through them, but let me drop my boy a like real quick. Oh, it's right here in the side link. The next one I want to talk about was a video from Penguins, or Moist Critical, or Charlie, whatever you know him as. But before we get into this,
If I asked you to give
I'm going to BRB and do a quick bathroom break. So BRB real quick. Alrighty, I am back. All right, so let's continue into the whole payment processing fiasco. And this is a video by Penguins Zero, aka Moist Critical, aka Charlie. Let's go. The man probably even more monotone than myself.
If I asked you to give me your ID to watch this video, provide some form of identification, what would you tell me?
I would say screw you, buddy.
I hope your answer would be a resounding no, telling me to go eat dirt. Because
That too.
that's not just like some kind of innocent, annoying question.
The man behind the real Mighty Thirsty? I'm not familiar with that.
That's legitimately just an assault on your freedom. It's an extremely scary and concerning direction the online space is heading. No longer is this just the wacky wild west of the World Wide Web where Timmy Turner once surfed on an email in Fairly Odd Parents.
I remember that. I used to watch Fairly Odd Parents quite a bit.
Now, it is actively being censored. We're seeing that happen a lot. Censorship is spiraling.
Can I just say as well, I'm jealous of his hair. He has really good hair. Can't relate.
Especially in video games, with Collective Shout getting Steam and itch.io, two separate platforms to remove hundreds and hundreds of games that they deemed highly harmful and, deplorable. So they had the Visa and MasterCard come forward, threaten to pull out of them and bully them.
He dubbed this 12 years ago? All right. Quick side tangent. Oh, I remember this.
Anthony Sullivan here.
Holy moly, you just memory blasted me. Sure, we'll do a quick side tangent.
Here, whoops-a-daisy, I spilt my beverage. This ordinary sponge just can't handle this type of shit. Go fuck yourself, sponge. Introducing the Mighty Thirsty. It's the
I forgot he used to be a no webcam, like, audio only. He used to do like gaming videos and stuff like that, speaking in the real monotone voice. I used to watch him back then, and I completely forgot about that because I'm so used to just him being on camera now.
super absorbent vacuum block humans have been demanding since the beginning of time. It can hold 8 times the weight of a rhinoceros. Where'd all the liquid go? Right there. Watch me trick this Mighty Thirsty into sipping up my piss. Did you know Mighty Thirsties were not created but instead were found deep within the Amazon rainforest? Research shows that each Mighty Thirsty is made with liquid love and PVA, which stands for pure vagina action. Look, the Mighty Thirsty absorbed all the wiener juice with no spills. Scientists agree that drinking without a mouth will lead to a huge mess, but if you have a thirsty sidekick on standby, it'll just gobble it right up.
12 years ago, internet wasn't that different, really, was it?
Look,
Well, kinda.
look at this. Smooth as ass cheeks. This sponge is diarrhea's bitch. Check this little experiment out. Some water over here, some uranium-235 over there, some plutonium to enhance taste, and the Mighty Thirsty does what it does best. It's thirsty, it's mighty, it is fucking thirsty, so it's gonna fucking drink. On the left, you can see me torturing an innocent roll of paper towels, while on
It
the
probably
right,
deserved
you can see
it.
that naughty Mighty Thirsty taking a bath. Toothpaste on the windows, no problem. Stand
Oh,
back,
toothpaste.
assholes. Anthony Sullivan's special dance moves for this bitch-ass glass.
Still looks
Zoinks,
kind
You
of smudged.
invited me over to your house and I poured soda on your carpet. Ordinarily, you just have to
Wait,
get rid of the entire...
What?
you
What? It's not just me that sees that what that spill shape looks like, right? It's not just...
invited me over to your house and I poured soda on your carpet. Ordinarily, you just have to get rid of the entire carpet, maybe even sell the house. But thanks to the Mighty Thirsty, you can just clean it. Ponce de Leon searched high and low for a Mighty Thirsty. You can actually wash this thirsty son of a bitch in your sink.
Wait, I know that reference. Ponce de Leon was the guy that searched for the Fountain of Youth, I believe.
Got shit stains in your fridge, we'll send you 2 Mighty Thirsties to wear as flip-flops. Got shit stains in your car, we'll send you 2 minis to clean your titties. Got shit stains on your desk, it's probably time to get a new job. Aquaman ejaculate on your granite countertop? You just earned yourself the Jumbo Mighty Thirsty. For only
Oh,
$20,
they come in
you can have your
jumbo.
own fucking family of Mighty Thirsties. But call right now, and I'll fuck the offer in half. You get the same deal for
Ooh,
$10.
what a
You
deal.
save $10. Imagine what you can do with an extra $10.
You could buy 2 jumbos, 4 large, and 4 minis with 10.
But wait, I'm not done. You thought I was done? You must be shitting. I will double this offer. That's right, you get your own army of Mighty Thirsties for only $10. So if you're fucking tired of the ocean,
Wait.
take this deal. Throw your collection of Mighty Thirsties into the ocean. They'll absorb all of it. Get rid of the ocean
80
entirely.
for $10. That means you can use that $10 you saved for 4 jumbos, 8 large, and 8 minis.
Hold the ocean in your hands. Get thirsty, bitch.
There we go. That was that. All right. Side tangent over. To make it easier for me, if I edit down this video, those claps meaning I'm going back to the video. All right. Let's continue.
Into submission. They got him in the fucking headlock. So then they just went belly up and played ball, removing all of these titles, which, by the way, was not just freaky Gooner games. In itch.io's case, people have learned over the last few days, tons and tons of games have been de-indexed that didn't have any porn in them at all.
And that was always the plan. Start with the objectionable stuff, then just remove things that you personally don't like.
So it wasn't just like rape and incest weirdo games.
Like mouthwashing? Yeah, I seen that. They removed mouthwashing and I believe Fear and Hunger, which Fear and Hunger was a game I was interested in because I heard people recommend it. I never played it, but I had it on my Steam wish list, and I believe now it's gone. Same with mouthwashing, I believe. I don't remember, though.
It was any game, or mini games included, that are just darker themes, that have more like adult themes in them with no like sexual content. It's absurd, and it's something everyone could have seen coming. Anyone with a functioning frontal lobe could tell you that censorship is not something to be celebrated. When you try and target low-hanging fruit, something easy like gross, disgusting porn games that are all about like incest and shit, you'll get.
You know what's funny too is they can't even go and say, well, like, oh, well, we can't have incest games, we can't have R-word games. That's bad. What if children play them? But yet there are books with those themes, there are movies with those themes, and Game of Thrones was popular for how long? And no one batted an eye at that. But oh, if it's in a video game, a fictional video game, someone please think of the children.
A lot of clapping seals like, yippee, you saved us. But what they don't realize is it doesn't stop there. That is just the beginning.
Yes, that's their foot in the door. That's their foot in the door, so that way they can go for the things that they actually want to take down, that actually bother them. That's just how they first enter, by saying, whoa, we're against this objectionable stuff. Aren't you? Don't you think this is gross?
Opens the door, so that way they can censor even more. It is absurd and out of control, but I'm going off on a tangent. The point is, the internet is under attack in a large way across the board, not just in gaming. I'm sure all of you have seen what's happening in the UK right now with their Online Safety Act, where now to access a myriad of content, you need to provide your identification.
Which is ridiculous. I did have to provide an ID and a freaking face scan for PayPal, which I hate and is annoying, but I get it because that's tied to money and tied to banking, or a face picture, or whatever the hell you want to call it. So things like that, yes, are annoying, but for banking, I can understand. But for social media, if Discord, I don't use Twitter, but if I did, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, if any of them asked me to upload a picture of a picture or my state issue ID'd, you would not be seeing me stream right now. I would not do it. I would outright refuse.
That's not acceptable. Just like we were all taught growing up, never take candy from a stranger, don't talk
danger.
to strangers, say no to that kind of shit. You should also be taught to say no to this too. You should not be providing your ID willy-nilly online. That is not something that should just be loosey-goosey, no care in the world. Oh, here's all my personal identification. Here, yeah, take it. That way I can access fucking Wikipedia. By the way, Wikipedia is actually affected by this.
That's
now,
ridiculous.
in some cases, it's not providing an ID. It's instead providing your face. It will scan your face. So
that's what I had to do for PayPal.
You're giving them your biometric data in that case. Again, big time no-no. I shouldn't be the one to come in here and teach you why privacy is important, but I hope somebody has. This is not a good thing.
Funny thing is, you can defeat the UK ID with a fake license photo off of Google. Yeah, I seen people were. I seen a video of people were duping it, or no, not duping it, faking it with a picture of Death Stranding, like using a photo from Death Stranding. People were able to trick the or bypass it. It was I forget where I saw that, but yeah, it's funny.
So in some of these processes, it's not always required to give your full ID and your like fucking, credit card statements or anything. Instead, some may ask to like scan your face and everything. Also still frowned upon. You
Yep.
still shouldn't do that
Nope.
either. This bill was paraded around like it was some righteous, legislation that was aimed at protecting kids from
And that's how they're able to do it. They're able to say, well, we got to protect the children. Don't you know? This is to save the children. When they know that that is not, they just know that's how they sway the public to back them. That's how they sway the public to not fight against it or be against it because you don't want to be against the children. It's like what was it? The Patriot Act. Oh, well, you're a patriot, aren't you? You wouldn't want to vote against this because you're a patriot, right? You love your country, don't you? Scummy, deceptive garbage.
accessing harmful content online, specifically porn. I'm sure a lot of you, if you've got your thinking caps on, if you're activating neurons, can probably recognize a pattern since basically the beginning of time, the beginning of the internet here, where porn is always used as this ultimate boogeyman. It's the Galactus level threat that they always have to pass legislation to combat. And to people that don't want to do any thinking and would rather have all their thoughts put into their head by the government on what they should and should not support, it sounds like a nice notion. You don't want kids having access to harmful content like porn online.
And do you know whose responsibility it should be that the children don't access harmful things online? The parents. That's right. Personal accountability. Oh, I know, God forbid. Personal accountability exists in today's age. It's the government's fault little Timmy went and looked at a booby online. God forbid the parents are in little Timmy's life to look at what he's doing online. It's the rest of the world's problem to solve.
That makes sense. But the second you make like George and get a bit curious and, God forbid, get into your ponder stance and start thinking and look into these type of pushes, you will recognize the goal is not to protect kids. It's not to protect anyone from anything. These are called Trojan horses,
Yep.
where they push these through under a false pretense like this with so many huge detrimental consequences attached to it that impede on your freedom. They use this idea of protecting kids from harmful content as a way of getting this bill across the line that has really bad stuff.
What is it? The Benjamin Franklin quote: "Those that give up liberty for temporary safety deserve neither." Paraphrasing the quote, but something along those lines.
In it. There is nothing good about handing over your freedoms. And it's even more sad how few people even recognize it happening in front of their face. And even beyond that, even more pathetic is the people that are happy about it, that don't mind giving away all of their personal information. This act.
I remember having a disagreement in World of Warcraft with someone about online censorship and government control over the censorship. And I remember them telling me, and it blew my mind at the time because I am probably, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm too much of a rebel, I guess, for lack of a better word. They pretty much told me that it's good that government censors things and it's good that the government keeps things away from people because it's probably for the betterment of people. And that blew my mind because I was like, how can you trust the government and how can you expect the government to act in your best interest when it's been proven time and time again that the government does not do that? You shouldn't allow anyone to control what you can and cannot see. Again, assuming it's not illegal. If it's illegal, fine, take it down. But it should be up to you. You're an adult. You're of sound mind. You should be able to decide what you want and don't want to see.
Was not about protecting children from accessing porn. It did not just require ID to be provided for porn sites. It was required for anything that they deemed maybe potentially opening up children to harmful content. That includes Discord features. It includes some forums. It includes Twitter. It includes Reddit.
Yeah, it starts off with, well, we don't want them to see objectionable material. We don't want them to see uh we don't want them to see we'll go with corn to avoid censorship, YouTube censorship. We don't want them to see things like that. Also, what turns out, we want to hide information. Oh, here's this certain political topic that we don't want them to discuss. Oh my goodness, there's someone who disagrees with the mainstream narrative. So we got to hide that because that's harmful content. Or, oh, here's someone that goes against a good example would be the whole, not to get political, but the whole Jeffrey Epstein list and that whole fiasco. Oh, people are talking about it and they want the list released. Well, we don't want, the government doesn't want people talking about that. So that's now harmful content. You don't want to look at that. It's to stifle voices and to promote censorship in the guise of protecting children.
Anything that could even be moderately argued opens them up to like adult content or harmful subjects is hit by this, requiring them to have age verification in place where you will need to provide an ID to prove you are 18 years or older in order to grant access to that. You know the whole meme of like, oi, you got a license to be breathing that air?
Oi, bruv, you got a license?
Where it's all about like how over the top the UK is with this kind of bullshit. Well, now it has become beyond parody, where you actually need a fucking license to send Discord shit. You need a license for Wikipedia articles.
Oi, bruv, you got a license for that meme? I didn't think so.
Basically. Wikipedia is being hit by this, by the way. And they're trying to plead their case here about how detrimental this is, trying to bring some kind of sanity and reason back to the UK here in some capacity. I know this word gets tossed around a lot by a bunch of Redditors when tipping their fedora at anything they don't like, but
you should tip your top hat, not a fedora. Look at this top hat. Tip the top hat, not the fedora.
But this actually is dystopian. This is preposterous. This was never designed to protect kids from accessing harmful things like porn. It was designed for control and surveillance of their citizens.
100% true.
And it's being proposed in the US as well. If you thought this was an exclusive thought process,
they try this every, I want to say like 5 to 10 years. What was the other one? The Child Safety Act or something like that. They tried to push that, I want to say it was like 2016, 2018 era, and it failed. But every few years they always try it, and I'm pretty sure he's about to bring it up that they're going to try it again. And hopefully it gets shot down. It got shot down last time, but that doesn't mean it will be this time. So hopefully that ends up being the case.
Just for the UK, you're very wrong. America would love to get their fingers in our buttholes as well, and we now have the Kids Online Safety Act that...
Oh, so the Kids Online Safety... Wasn't the other one called the Child's... Or is this the old one? I know something similar to that. Is this the new one that he was just talking about?
It has been reintroduced in late May.
Oh, reintroduced. Okay, so that was the other one. So it was called the Kids Online Safety Act. I thought it was called the Child Online Safety Act. So I was close.
That aims to do something very similar here. It's a very common tactic where these proposed legislations will have things like, we have to protect the children. You know, another classic meme, think of the children.
Yep.
Well, it's a meme for a reason because it's...
The Simpsons meme. Won't somebody think of the children?
It is the go-to strategy for a lot of politicians because it's very easy to drum up support under this false pretense. It is not about protecting kids. This isn't actually trying to stop kids from accessing porn. It is a convenient way for them to control your information and spy on you freely, openly, and easily.
And not only that, but collect your information to then sell it. I am on the firm stance that any corporation that asks for my data and then wants to sell my data, they should owe me a cut of that profit. They're selling my data, they're selling my email, they're selling my phone number, they're selling hell, if I'm face scanning something, they're selling my face, and they're all profiting off of that. Why the hell should they make the money off of my data, my face, all of my stuff? That should be going to me outright. If they want to sell it, the money should be given to me. There should be laws for that, but the government is useless.
It is all about surveillance, control, and censorship. And all I can do is sit here and cross my fingers and toes while kissing a rabbit's foot that we are lucky enough that this will be shot down as it has in the past in this.
Another side tangent, because I just thought about it. Nothing, that's why I don't like signing up for things, because nothing is free. Oh, put in your email to get a free 1 month trial. Well, you're not getting a free 1 month trial. They're going to sell your email to third party people and make a ton of money off of that. And sure, they'll let you have their free month trial, but it still cost you something. It cost you your email.
Country, but it's not guaranteed. Obviously, most people don't want kids accessing porn. And in an age where information can spread so quickly, so wrongly.
No child should be on the internet. The internet should be 18 plus. We do not need to change the entire landscape of the internet because old Susan is on her third bottle of wine and little Timmy is online unrestricted and visiting sites that he shouldn't be. That should not be in existence. We shouldn't change the entire landscape because people don't know how to be parents.
There's a lot of people that might hear the tiddlywinks about this bill, think it's doing something that it's not, and support it. It's very possible. There has never been an easier time to get some really damaging freedom overturning bills passed than right now, because you control so much information so easily, and most people don't bother to spend even a fucking iota of a second researching any of the topics.
Third option, parents learn to use router settings. Yeah, that works too. Or if not that, there can be a children version of things that they can access, like YouTube Kids or other apps that can be specifically made for kids. And all like messaging and all that should be turned off. And all they should be able to do is just like watch a video, play the video, pause the video, rewind the video, and that's it. No contact, no messaging, no DMing, none of that. There can be specifically websites that are kid only. And again, that should be up to the parents to watch. And another side tangent too. Oh no, I just lost my train of thought. Damn it. Ah well, it's gone.
It's just a really concerning mix of ingredients here for like the possible perfect storm of no longer having an internet that you can access without providing identification. For some reason, it's become highly accepted and normalized that the internet is expected to cater to children being on it completely unsupervised. And while that does happen, that is the fault of the parent, and the blame lies
I'm going to let him finish.
solely on the parent
1000% true. That hit the nail on the head. Perfect.
refusing to do their job in raising their own fucking kids. It is not the
Exactly.
internet's responsibility to do that for them. Now, I know it's been very common for parents to just sit their kids in front of an iPad creating
I know someone, I'm not going to say who, but I know someone that raised their children as iPad kids and literally went, oh, well, I got home from work. I'm tired. I don't want to deal with my kids. So I'll just put them in their room and give them an iPad and I'm going to go to sleep for a few hours. And these were little kids. And they go, well, they could just watch stuff. And when I wake up, I'll deal with them. People do not know how to parent nowadays. And it is not the world's responsibility for you being an awful parent.
these iPad kids, setting them up for failure, really, by refusing to actively be a part of their life and raise them. But that doesn't mean that the internet needs to step in and change to do it for them.
Exactly.
There needs to be the onus placed back on the household, the parents, should be once again in charge of raising their kids. That's how it used to be, and that's how you had normal people develop. Not
Yep.
like this. Not under the thumb of the government sticking its nose in your business. It is terrifying. Why have we just gotten to the point where we excuse bad parenting and instead force the internet to be the ones to be the parental figure?
Because no one can take personal accountability for anything anymore. Oh, it's the internet's fault that my child accessed a website that he shouldn't have. Oh, it's McDonald's fault I'm fat. Oh, it's uh, this video game's fault that I spent $10,000 on gotcha rolls. It can't be my fault. I didn't do anything bad. I was taken advantage of. And while that might be the case in some cases, personal accountability is a thing of the past. You got to find who to blame and what to blame before you take responsibility for your own actions.
Where everything is like babied to ensure a kid doesn't accidentally access fucking Wikipedia or
Hey, no need to call out my gotcha habits. It's okay. I'm right there with you. Technically, though, Newbie funded my gotcha habit, so Newbie was my sugar daddy for my Kita-san Black Rules.
something. It's completely preposterous. And on top of that, it's downright dangerous for everybody. You shouldn't be providing your identification and all of this data like this. It's just not good. And I really hope we don't see it come to America. I wanted to put all of this on your plate here, put it on your radar, because
Thanks,
this
Charlie.
is not something good. Don't let the propaganda fool you. It is not aiming to actually protect anybody or anything. It is solely for control and surveillance,
Power and control every single time. Power and control.
trying to get more data from you to monitor your activities and ensure you are the drone they want you to be. This is not a good thing. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. That's it. So yeah.
That was a good video. 100% right. He's way more eloquent than I am, but I agree. Let's drop this bad boy a like. Alrighty. Now, to finish off the trilogy of talking about the the whole credit card or the payment processor fiasco, to finish off wait, brain, come on, you can do this. To finish off the payment. Why is my brain just dying? You know, I'm gonna take a drink of water. My brain apparently is slowly being fried live. Too much reacts. All right. Let's try this again now. To continue discussing the whole payment processor garbage, we are now going to watch a video about Visa responding to the censoring of Steam games. And before we even start the video, we are going to drop a subscribe and a like. I don't know what this is about yet, but if Visa has responded and hopefully the response is, my bad, we won't do it, W. But if it's anything other than that, screw them. Also, Obscura, what is this called? Obscura or Claire Obscure? Expedition 33. I've heard this game's really good. I wanted to try it at some point, and I probably will, because I've heard really, really good things about it, but that's neither here nor there. Let's start the video.
Imagine trying to buy a game on Steam only to find out it's vanished. Not because it's illegal, but because Visa and MasterCard decided you can't buy it. Over the last few
Ridiculous.
weeks, tens of thousands of games have been removed from both Steam and itch.io. And it's all due to pressure
put the
from payment
audio up a little bit.
processors. This isn't just about a few controversial titles. It's affecting everything from small indie projects to mature but otherwise legal games. It's a new reality where gamers
Yeah, like mouthwashing, like Fear and Hunger, and whatever else. Those are the only ones I could think of off the top of my head. But that was always their plan. Start with the objectionable stuff and then move on to the things that they just personally don't like and want removed.
no longer get to decide what they can buy. But gamers aren't just sitting back. There are reports
Gamers, rise up. We are the most oppressed class. Gamers, It is your moment. Don the armor, equip the sword, and fight for your right to game.
Reports of a mass campaign, Operation Fighting Fire with Fire. Their goal? To bombard MasterCard and Visa with calls and emails, mirroring the tactics used by groups like Collective Shout, who initially targeted Steam.
Oh, the Uno reverse. I like it. That's smart.
Collective Shout claimed victory with around 1,000 emails, and gamers believe they can collectively shout much, much louder.
Eh, I like that. That was good.
Simply letting MasterCard and Visa know, hey, these games we want to buy are legal. Let us spend our money. So, as gamers express their frustration, Visa has responded to multiple emails with what appears to be a copy-paste response.
Of course. Either it was copy-paste or they just used AI. Which one?
Seen multiple different emails, but they all had the exact same reply, so let's see what Visa has to say about the situation. Thank you for reaching out and sharing your perspective. As a global company, we follow the laws and regulations everywhere we do business.
As a global company, I don't care about your global company. You are a payment processor. You are meant to serve me because my money goes through you. If you want to not exist, then keep it up. Because as soon as people realize that they can dump you and you can be replaced, how quickly you will change your tune.
This sounds fair. Visa says they follow the law. Obviously, if something is illegal, that is its own situation.
1000% true.
And I would agree that it should be banned from Steam.
Yep.
But these games we are talking about are legal, which is the problem. While we explicitly prohibit illegal activity on our network, we are equally committed to protecting legal commerce. If a transaction is legal, our policy is to process the transaction. We do not make moral judgments.
Yes, you do. Of course, they just spout out lies. If you didn't make moral judgments on legal purchases, then you wouldn't be refusing commerce to these companies that all these advocacy groups are crying about and whining about. So you do indeed make moral judgments. Don't sit there and lie to me.
On legal purchases made by consumers. This is a very strong statement. Visa claims they don't judge what people buy if it's legal, and if a purchase is legal, they process it. This sounds great. This is what you would assume a payment processor would do. But if you have been paying attention at all to the situation, you would know this is simply not true. From games to crypto, guns, anime, porn, even energy companies, and so much more. But back to Visa's statement. If they
Quick side tangent. I was thinking about covering it, but I don't know if I want to or not. That whole the SIG gun, the SIG P320, and it freaking just discharging on its own. I'm not really I do like guns. I'm just not like a huge gun nut, but I thought about covering that, but I don't know if I will or won't.
don't make moral judgments, what does that even mean? It means they claim they don't care if content is adult, violent, or controversial as long as it's legal. They say their job isn't to decide what's right or wrong morally, but just to make sure money moves for legal products. So they are saying one thing, but then doing the exact opposite.
Never judge people by what they say, judge them by their actions. Because everyone will say, oh, well, we don't make judgments on what you purchase. Meanwhile, we're actually stopping you from purchasing what you want. Always judge by actions, never by words.
Visa continues in the email. Visa does not moderate content sold by merchants, nor do we have visibility into the specific goods or services sold when we process a transaction. This claim is also very clear. Visa says they don't look at the content being sold. Visa and MasterCard are intertwined in so many businesses around the world, you can't actually expect them to go through every single one to review and moderate everything. Visa also says they don't see what's being sold when money moves. So if they don't see the content, how do they know if something is quote-unquote risky?
It's easy. They just lie. Because how can anyone know the difference? So, yeah, they just lie.
Well, they rely on reports from banks themselves, complaints from the public, or even activist groups to flag a merchant as risky. So, Visa won't look at every single game, But if a platform like Steam has a lot of content that's getting complaints, Visa can view the entire platform as a risk, which is how Collective Shout were able to get.
We hate gamers. I'm telling you, man. Gamers rise up every single time. People, corporations, advocacy groups try to take on the gamers. They lose, and it's gonna happen again.
Visa and MasterCard to listen to them by painting Steam and itch.io as this very bad place, asking them to demonstrate corporate social responsibility and immediately cease processing payments.
Also pathetic of these companies that bend the knee to these random Karens that send a couple thousand or send up what to say like 1,000 emails. Why even bend the knee in the first place? Who cares what they have to say? The only people they should really be listening to is the government, because if they're breaking rules and the government wants to crack down on them, the government is the only one that has the power to do something about it. A couple Karens complaining isn't going to change anything. But since they have to look good and they have to, they bend the knee to say, these Karens going, well, you don't want us to speak badly about you. Oh, we're going to go post online about how you allow games of questionable material. Don't you think that'll look bad? And then these companies bend the knee? Pathetic. Pathetic. Stand by. You don't even have to stand by any type of morals. Just, you don't need to bend the knee to a couple complainers on Twitter.
But Visa continues in their email. When a legally operating merchant faces an elevated risk of illegal activity, we require enhanced safeguards for the bank supporting those merchants. The last part is key. Visa says if a store has a high risk of illegal activity, they make the banks working with that store take extra steps to be safe. But notice they don't say the content is illegal, just that there's a risk of it. Visa claims that they do not make moral judgments on legal purchases and do not moderate content. But let's compare that to what Valve and itch.io actually said about the recent changes. In classic Valve fashion, they were quiet on the issue, with the only official information we have from them is the new rule change and an official worded response they gave out to multiple different journalists. In their response, Valve hinted heavily.
I know before, what was it, like 7 years ago? Valve said that they were never going to remove games as long as they weren't illegal, or they weren't going to mess with games as long as they weren't illegal. And that, sadly, that didn't hold, but hopefully they can get it sorted. But also, to be fair to Valve, that they kind of had no choice, because if the payment processors pulled themselves from the company, they're just screwed. So it made them react heavy-handedly due to not knowing what was going to happen if all their payment processors pulled out.
That payment processors were threatening to cut them off.
Yeah, they had essentially a knee-jerk reaction and just started removing everything that could be objectionable because they didn't know what was going to happen.
They stated they had to retire certain games because losing payment methods would prevent customers from buying any titles on Steam.
Yeah, it would essentially destroy them. And these payment processors should not have that kind of power. It is way too much.
This made it clear.
That's what makes them a cartel. That's what makes them essentially a monopoly that has too much power. And the government should step in that regard. That's the whole point of the government. The government is there to regulate these corporations because these corporations cannot exist without the government enforcing them and without the government letting them exist. I feel like a workaround would be restricting the affected games to be bought with Steam wallet funds only. Yeah, that could work too.
That Steam was now at the mercy of these payment processors despite Valve's usual hands-off approach to legal content. itch.io was even more direct. They flat out stated they changed their rules because payment companies threatened to block all payments on their platform. So if Visa isn't making moral judgments or moderating content, why were these threats happening over legal material? Is Visa implying Steam and itch.io are lying?
No, Visa is just a coward that's going to bow to anyone that threatens them, that they're going to get scolded on Twitter or scolded on some social media, and they don't want the bad press. So they're going to just bend the knee.
The answer is in one vague word: risk. Visa states they require enhanced safeguards when there is an elevated risk of illegal activity. But risk is a broad term. Often, it's not actually about illegal content, but about anything that might generate bad press or public protests.
Shock and surprise.
This gives power to groups like Collective Shout. They sent numerous emails, made phone calls, and ran public campaigns painting Steam and itch.io as risky places.
And that's why Visa and MasterCard and all of them are pathetic.
Urging these payment processors to cease business, which obviously led into them then pressuring Valve. These payment processors hold all this power because almost everyone uses their cards, so when they label a platform as risky, which often just means enough people complained, they can directly threaten that platform with losing access to their entire payment network. This also isn't just about Steam and itch.io either. We've seen similar problems in Japan where businesses selling certain types of legal adult
What's funny too is I remember hearing about this Japan, them messing with Japan, not wanting to be able to process payments for manga and anime and things like that. And at the time, I remember going, "That's not a good thing. Even if the material is objectionable, this is something that should be stopped." And I remember seeing posts on Twitter of people praising it. It's like, "Oh well, this is objectionable material. This is lolly stuff. It's good that all this is getting removed." And now look, you give them an inch, they take a mile. And I don't care. You can be anti-lolly, you can be anti all that crap. That doesn't matter to me. All I care about is if it's illegal or not.
content have lost payment options from companies like Visa, often under the same risk umbrella. Even Visa's CEO in Japan has been vocally against adult content. This shows a clear pattern. Payment processors, despite their claims, directly influence what can be sold. If they decide a business is risky, even for legal content, they can effectively shut down that business's ability to operate. So this email from Visa is a clear example of a big company saying one thing, while their actions and the statements of the platforms they work with show something completely different. Now it's also important to remember, as this video did have a focus on Visa, there are other payment processors involved as well. There are some reports from people calling MasterCard that issues have escalated.
Called MasterCard confirmed the Steam issue has been escalated to a higher department and they're getting calls about it. Well, that's good. Oh, I just realized his friggin' Anna Vellens. Horrible journalist. Never mind. Anything they say is trash.
To a higher department, as they have been getting calls about this all week. Whether MasterCard's higher department actually
You don't hate journalists enough.
does something is a different question that we will just have to wait to see. While the
Especially, that sucks for the call centers. Yeah, all those guys in India are not going to have a good day.
exact behind the scene details of what happened between payment processors and Steam are unknown, one thing is clear. Visa claims of no moral judgment
Was that too spicy? Nah.
don't match reality. They use vague terms like risk to deflect responsibility while controlling what content is bought and sold. This situation makes one thing very clear. Payment companies like Visa and MasterCard have huge unchecked power. They shouldn't be allowed to dictate what legal content can be bought or sold online simply by labeling it risky. Because what really is risky? This unchecked power must be challenged. Payment processors, with their monopoly on transactions, operate as essential services.
I know too much about domestic call centers. I bet.
Like electricity or water, they should be forced to provide fair access to all legal purchases.
Yep, he's 100% true here. Just like they can't cut off your water and cut off your electricity, they should not be able to affect what you can and cannot purchase if it is not illegal.
This is something hopefully we see happen in the future. That's why collective action is so important.
And it's not going to happen until the government steps in and makes it happen, because the government is the only one that can rein in and control these corporations. But good luck getting a boomer to understand this and having them push forward a bill to get something like that passed.
Calling and emailing Visa and MasterCard directly to supporting policies like the Fair Access to Banking Act, gamers are making their voices heard. They're now telling elected officials that these powerful companies are overstepping by blocking legal purchases. There are petitions already, with over 100,000 signatures, and I'm sure it will only grow as gamers start to realize how bad this problem really is. So what do you think about Visa's email? Do you think Steam and itch.io removed tens of thousands of games just because they wanted to, and then blamed it on payment processors?
No, they didn't move them because they wanted to. They moved them because they were scared. Because if they take away their ability to make purchases or sell things, they're completely screwed. They would be completely destroyed. And the payment processors know that they have that power, which should be controlled and regulated by the government.
For no reason. One thing is clear. Gamers aren't accepting this response, and they want payment processors to stop deciding what content can be sold.
All right. Oh, that was the next video that I was supposed to go on. Oh, you weren't supposed to pop up yet, video. Jeez. All right. Well, since it already started to autoplay, I might as well let it be. Originally, I wasn't going to make another video discussing the whole VShojo drama, but the reason why I decided to do it, you have autoplay on? No, it's a watch later. Watch later just will autoplay when you have like a selection of videos that you want. But the reason why I decided to cover it is because when I made the first one talking about it, when it was Iron Mouse talking about it, in that video I said I wanted to hold with a grain of salt because it had just come out the news, and I didn't want to jump on a hate train or a bandwagon because I like to hear every side of the story before I make a judgment. And since I made a video on that, and in that video I stated I wanted to wait and see, it has now been enough time for me to know, based on all the people coming out, all the people who have quit, all the people that have come out with horror stories, that VShojo was 1000% in the wrong. And I wanted to make a video covering that. And here's a video by Rev, and he's going to go over some of the stuff in it. But I just wanted to go over it as my little final nail in the coffin, talking about VShojo. Unless something major were to happen again, I wanted to discuss it because of the fact that they are 1000% in the wrong. Rest in piss, they will not be missed. Let's start the video.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So what if I told you the VShojo situation has somehow gotten worse? Well, you'd probably believe me because that's pretty much the case every single day since the implosion of this company started just a few days ago. And today is really no different. We're going to be looking at some more trouble for the leadership of VShojo, including some potential state and federal charges. And one of the people in that management group is an officer who left 2 months ago and then tried to join the mob going after VShojo. However, now that a lot of NDAs have been broken, former talents are coming out and sharing their experience.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about this. This guy apparently was really creepy towards the girls and would make unwanted advances, allegedly. And when the company started going under, he pretty much was like, oh my goodness, and playing like he didn't know. And a lot of the girls have come out and said, not only was he aware, but he was also a major creep. That's what I've heard.
With this particular officer and how he is just basically a giant creep and someone who's in a lot of hot water right now. So let's begin with the CEO of the former.
His emote was removed off of Twitch. I know that as well. He had a global emote, gone, and good, deserved. Not only did this scumbag allegedly steal money from charity, but he took advantage of all the people that worked under him and essentially trying to take more money than they should have. Scummy, scummy company, VShojo.
Company, VShojo, the gun run. Now, this guy has been facing a lot of heat since day one of this VShojo situation. He has been the person people have been looking at. He is the captain of the ship, and I regret to inform you guys, I have some very sad news.
Oh, yep, he talked about it.
Twitch has removed the gun run global emote. I know a lot of people are really disappointed about this, but yeah, I had to share that with you guys first. But yesterday we talked about in our video this message that VShojo released. This is their official statement from Gunrun himself, and he says many things, saying that VShojo has failed and he mismanaged the company and that they're shutting down and that they had all these funds they couldn't get loans to make up for.
I don't know if Rev's going to talk about it, but another thing too is he claimed that he wasn't aware that the money was raised for charity, but people have found proof and evidence that not only did he shout out the charity, but he had retweeted people that were talking about the charity. So he outright lied, and he knew the money was being raised towards charity, but he spent it. And allegedly, according to, I believe, Tectone, it was on Vegas and hookers, allegedly.
And basically, he spent all the money the company had, including the revenue that was supposed to go to the talents and also the charity money. And he tries very hard in this paragraph right here, while basically admitting he misappropriated funds, to say, oh, I kind of like didn't know that $500,000 that was supposed to go to charity. I didn't know that was
so
like
Rev does talk
for
about
charity, and I just kind of spent it on other things. Yeah, really bad move. Of course, this is referring to what Iron Mouse said in her video explaining why she left VShojo, where she mentions the $500,000 she raised for the Immune Deficiency Foundation through her subathon last year. That $500K never made it to that organization, and of course, we now know it was spent on other things in a very, very bad decision by Gunrun and all of the management over at VShojo. Now, in this statement, they try very hard to act like they had no idea what was going on, where this charity money came from. The Immune Deficiency Foundation, who's that? Subathon, huh? Yeah, well, there's a crazy paper trail. There's a crazy trail of activity showing that VShojo, and in particular Gunrun,
How are you going to go on the internet and just lie when there are receipts for everything that you've done and said in the past? Just own up. You already failed. You already ran your company into the ground and friggin' took advantage of people. Just admit to your mistakes, say how much you screwed up, and move on. Or don't say anything at all and hire a lawyer.
knew this was going on and were actively cheering on this charity effort by Iron Mouse. Beginning with this, they released a press briefing. They actually released a press briefing to the public talking about Iron Mouse's success in her subathon, even mentioning that she is the now, at the time, the #1 all-time sub to Twitch streamer on the entire platform. They were so proud of this, they released a press statement and even talked about the charity. And then we go further.
Oh, but he didn't know.
We see the Gun Run reposting this Ludwig tweet talking about the fact that this raised money for charity, that half of the money was going to charity from
Oh, but he didn't know, scumbag.
the subathon. Here's another retweet from the Gun Run, directly from Iron Mouse, where she talks about the subathon ending, right? And the success of it. And of course, we have this photo right in front of the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Their logo right there. There he is.
Also, the gun run used to work for Twitch. That explains why he failed.
Standing right next to them, right next to Iron Mouse. He knew everything that was going on with this, okay? And he knew how important this was to her. And it gets worse. One last one. Oh, geez. We're going to scroll down and see Gun Run, aren't we? Yup. You.
Pathetic. That guy is so pathetic, man. How are you gonna steal money from charity? That's as low as you can go. Am I surprised that people are that scummy? No, but it's still just, man.
You did it, Mouse. Yeah, he says that as he takes all the charity money and basically does whatever he did with it. Well, it certainly didn't go to the charity, and it certainly didn't go to Iron Mouse. That's all we know. But of course, legal mindset, an actual attorney is weighing in on the situation. I guess being an actual attorney is probably more of a qualification than what it appears to be at any sort of counsel at VShojo, because apparently one of their lawyers doesn't even have a active license. It expired. This is a joke. But
VShojo, the more and more I learn about it, I found that it was held together by duct tape and criminality.
legal mindset would weigh in on this and talk about just how serious this is in terms of potential state and federal laws that were violated, but also
Oh, and gaslighting.
keep in mind, it's not just Gunrun. A lot of people are going to focus on him, but that doesn't mean all the other officers and higher-ups at VShojo are off the hook.
Leaving 2 months ago doesn't get you off the hook. This thing has been going on for a while, at least in terms of the people not being paid, and also in terms of the charity misallocation. This is something that was done in the past. So if you were there as an officer 2 months ago and you quit, you're not necessarily off the hook. When the investigation looks at this, they get into the emails, they get into the documents, they get into, okay, what happened here? There at some point is going to be revealed a number of people, not just the gun run, but definitely including the gun run, that were involved in taking those funds and putting them other places.
Yeah, it's going to be all the top leaders, top management, all the COO, the CEO, the CFO, all of them are going to be the ones that were all in cahoots, but they're probably all just going to try to throw Gun Run under the bus because that's the most beneficial for them. And of course, they're going to take the most beneficial for them path.
There were discussions that were had, and even if they were had in person, someone's going to crack, someone's going to break. No one wants to go to federal prison. This is wire fraud. This is misallocation of funds. This is violation of various other state and federal laws. This is no good, right? And assuming, once again, assuming on the face that all the facts we have are true, which I have no reason to believe because they've confessed this now. They've said, no, we actually misallocated the funds. There's no further proof needed other than getting into who's liable.
Now, you see a particular officer mentioned in that video, and you'll see throughout the rest of this video, this guy's going to be the highlight. So you see this individual, Mo Tendu, better known.
This is the guy that I heard that was being creepy.
Known as MTD, as we'll see throughout the rest of this video. This is someone who left VShojo in May. They made a statement here on Twitter. It's their pinned tweets. They talk about all of the wonderful memories they had with VShojo back then as an officer, a higher up in the company, saying they had such a great experience with VShojo. And again, this is just 2 months ago. But then, when everything starts after the Iron Mouse video, he jumps in and says, nah, bro, what the absolute F? And then tags his former CEO.
Throwing him under the bus, like I said, to cover for himself. Scumbags being scumbags? Shocking surprise.
The person he used to work for as an officer at VShojo. And of course, you can see the community note saying this user was included in many of VShojo's mismanagement issues and has been called out for harassing talents. Wow, color me shocked. I can't believe this just happened. But yeah, this guy tried to basically join in on the mob going after VShojo. It was like, yeah, I'm part of the team, guys. And people took a step back and said, wait a second. The issues going on with VShojo, they've been happening for years under your management. You were an officer in the company during this entire thing.
Yep.
And now you're trying to play on the side of the mob going after VShojo? Yeah, not so fast, buddy. And basically this guy...
trying to act innocent to cover his own behind. Not surprised.
He self-inserted into the situation to try to get clout on Twitter, and now he put a giant spotlight on himself, and people are digging through this guy's account, and now the talents are sharing their experiences with him because he couldn't keep his mouth shut, and it's bad. It's real bad, ladies and gentlemen. We'll begin with this photo. I'm telling you, man, the Sonichu medallion, it claimed another soul.
Why? Why every time? It can't be stopped. It's too powerful.
Here this guy is. That's our MTD. I don't know what he's wearing on his face. It looks like he's wearing Miku's panties on his face. But he's masked up. Okay, that's a bit of a joke. It's 2018, yeah, before the pandemic and everything, but it's a convention. People wear masks. But anyways, he has a lot more to worry about than wearing a silly mask. Vebe, who's a former VShojo talent, would come out with a lengthy statement absolutely chastising this guy. It's bad. She begins by talking about the company, but eventually we'll get into this officer and how he is basically, according to her, a creep who has been told to basically stay away from the women within the company. Okay, so let's begin with the statement. So, as she says, her
Oh, it's like that one guy from Niji Sanji that they let go so that way they didn't have to deal with the internal investigation. Creeps exist in women uh women spaces? Who would have guessed?
NDAs are now void. Why I left VShojo. Back in 2023, VShojo tried to bully me into one of their most predatory contracts that I've ever seen. When I tried to ask more about it, their COO got extremely hostile with me and refused to answer any of my questions, and so I had to hire a lawyer in order to get some clarification. During the talks, it became clear that VShojo would rather let me go than to take less away from me. They were ultimately wanting me to give up more than half of my sponsor revenue and over 60% of all merch sales.
That's ridiculous.
All I asked from them in return is to not take a cut of the sponsors that I was getting through Mythic. Mythic Talent being an organization that helps people get various sponsorships, basically, right? But as that cut was already being taken, they said no. They want it all. Remember in the final notice, their final statement on VShojo's page, they said, like, we gave generous cuts. Does this sound very generous? This sounds as bad as Niji Sanji at this point. But anyways. And so I asked to leave after being treated like I was disposable in our talks. They basically made it seem like...
I remember one of the things that I would always hear about VShojo is, well, they get to keep their own model. They get to keep their own model. Well, a lot of the times they were already established people that were bringing in their own model. So of course they kept their IP that was already theirs, but a lot of people would play that off as if that was something special. And VShojo would always like to act like they were a family when it turns out they were the family as long as they got something from you. But if you wanted something or needed something returned, then, well, you're just not being a team player now.
They were my employer and that they were the reason for my success, that I owe them, and that I should be happy to give them my money. In order for me to leave, they demanded I sign an NDA that prevented me from speaking to any other talent about it. I could not say why I was leaving.
That's cult-like behavior. You're not allowed to speak to anyone or anything. We're a sunshine and rainbows. You can't badmouth us.
I could not say what the terms that I was saying no to were. I even got in trouble for advising them to hire their own attorneys.
Well, of course, you'd get in trouble for that. They don't want them to lawyer up, because then the lawyers will be able to find out that the company is corrupt and taking advantage of people. So they're going to get real mad at that.
They would watch my streams, read my Discord, and then threaten to sue me. If I said anything that hinted towards how I really felt about the company, I was threatened with a lawsuit. Wow. Yeah, basically trying to intimidate her and even threaten legal action, trying to weaponize the law system to make sure she keeps her mouth shut. Anyway, she continues, another one of their leave terms was that I would announce both me and Silver on the same day in order to minimize the damage to their company. Their COO has begun to push a narrative on 4chan.
Wait. The rats are always true. That VTubers and VTuber companies go on 4chan to push propaganda. That's always been a rat. And another rat proven true.
Yes, I'm serious on 4chan and other social media that I am leaving because I plan to join OTK and that both me and Silvervale were troublemakers, so they were letting us go. Later I found out that Nyanners wanted to leave around the same time due to also being unhappy with the contract, but was told she couldn't because it did not fit their narrative that they were pushing internally and externally.
One does not simply comment on this video without signed NDA. It's all right. They dissolved as a company, so therefore all NDAs are lifted, allegedly. I don't know. That's what I heard.
The amount of hate we've gotten over leaving, from fans calling us greedy bitches to people saying we're abandoning our friends and tossing aside the company because we're not successful enough. Stuff was effing painful. Not being able to say anything sucked. So the thing about Nyanners being basically forced to stay with the company even though she wanted to leave because they didn't want them all to leave at once because it would make the company look bad is something that is corroborated with Silvervale's account that we looked at yesterday. And also when they left, yeah, a lot of people were really mad. But I remember, the one thing I do remember is when they left, one of the first things Vebe said was the word retard, and people went absolutely insane.
Yeah, the drama I remember with her is her using or her saying retard and her playing the wizard game. And a lot of people getting mad about that. I remember hearing about that drama a while back.
People got so mad. All the people who were like, these wholesome Chungus v Shoujo fans, they turned on her instantly. And that's not even scratching the surface of people saying all these things she listed down here. But anyways, moving on. I only found out that I didn't get paid for any of my sponsors after I had already signed the NDA. After 2 years, I have still not been paid fully back. Another person added to.
And you know what's sad too is they're probably never going to see that money because I believe Vishojo's now declared bankruptcy, and I believe as well that they were considered contractors and not employees. And companies are required to pay employees first, and contractors get paid whenever they feel like it. What company is this again? This is Vishojo.
The list, by the way. To add insult to injury, they also demanded I had to pay them back $10K for some of the anniversary assets, which when they sent me back months later.
Wait, isn't that the whole point of the company? That they were supposed to help financially with like assets and deals and this and that? They wanted reimbursement for that? Jesus.
We're half finished. Despite all that, I've had immense faith that.
And they were half finished. I didn't let them finish, so I didn't hear that. So they wanted reimbursement for projects that weren't even completed?
The company has gotten better over the past 2 years. I assumed they rewrote their contracts if they're losing 3 people due to them and seeing all the new talent join.
No, what they did was create a pyramid scheme. They hired new talent to make more money to pay old talent, but then they had to hire new talent to pay the talent. They had to hire new talent to pay the talent that they just hired, so they could pay their old talent. And they just kept going and going and going. They essentially created a pyramid scheme.
Clearly, this was not the case. Now, this is the best part. Okay, the fun facts she lists here. Their company lawyer has an expired law license. He literally does.
All right. I mean, some of the employees definitely played a part too. I saw a video where someone went 2 years without getting paid. Man, I would have been gone by week 2. Yeah, a lot of them, sadly, are probably. That's probably one of the first companies they worked in and didn't know and thought, oh, I'm part of this company. This company has clout. Like people know this. So therefore, it's a good company. And they allowed themselves to be taken advantage of because they assumed that it was going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Something good. But they ended up getting scammed as well. Is that more of a Ponzi scheme than a pyramid scheme? Maybe both.
Does not practice law anymore, yet he was our point of contact for any legal help we needed. That is embarrassing.
Is that even legal? To have a company lawyer with an expired law license providing legal help? I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I'm not a lawyer, so I could be wrong, but questionable at least.
Couldn't even find just like a random lawyer. Like you couldn't find just a licensed attorney. That's how low the bar is. But the next one says they actively pitted us against one another during my time there and compared our success to others. They tried enforcing streaming schedules so that our view count would look better due to less overlap.
Was Vishojo a company or was Vishojo a high school girl clique? Not the VTubers in it. I'm talking about the people that ran the company. They would pit the VTubers against each other? Why would you do that as a company where you're supposed to be a group together and help each other?
They would always talk smack about other VTuber agencies. They literally would spend company money to get a tiny dig at them, especially Hololive. Wow, color me shocked. It literally lived rent-free in Gunrun's head. They were convinced Hololive was over when they signed Kason and Nazuna.
Also, poor Kason. She can't catch a break, man. She is probably, I would say, one of the... If there's a Mount Rushmore VTuber, she would definitely be on there. It's more of a Ponzi because they weren't stacking people. They're just recycling money they didn't have. Yeah, let me see. I think I have... Let me see if I can... I'll pull this up, see if I can pull this up to kind of indicate what I meant. This is a horrible thing, but it should work. All right. So the way I think of it is they had the people that they hired. Then, in order to pay these people, they had to hire more people to pay these people. Then, to pay these people, they had to hire more people. And that's essentially what they were doing. Horribly drawn, but just trying to give an example of what I'm talking about. Let me close that.
Once again, Hololive wins by doing absolutely nothing, just continuing on and watching all these other companies shoot themselves in the foot. But here's the next one saying our previous talent manager got ghosted for 6 months by Gunrun, told not to do any work for us, and then got fired for not doing anything. During this fiasco, we weren't able to get any assistance. And here we go. MTD got reprimanded for being creepy to us. Got told not to message us privately.
Why was he reprimanded for being creepy? He should have been instantly fired if it was like really creepy. If he was like messaging the girls and just being like, "Oh, hey, would you like to go to the movies?" or something like that, I could understand for a reprimand for that. But if being creepy and him being outright creepy to where he had to be reprimanded for it, why wasn't he let go?
Go figure. And she continues on, and that's the officer we've been talking about earlier in the video. She continues on saying, I have proof from other streamers attending their IRL parties that MTD would actively smack talk me after...
Yeah, how does this guy help the company? He can't be that good at his job to where if not only is he hitting on the girls, he's talking smack about them, creating division in the company itself, going to build resentment between the talents by bad-mouthing them amongst each other. What purpose does this guy serve to better the company? Oh, wait, it doesn't. They're bankrupt and dead. That explains it.
I left the company to paint me in the worst light imaginable. Don't know why you're acting innocent on Twitter pretending you weren't aware of anything. Can't wait to see all the stuff that comes out about you because there's loads. But those aren't my stories to tell. Yeah, it's about to get a lot worse for this person. And guess what? More people would weigh in, but it all makes sense, right? As pointed out here, right? Former co-founder, this officer, MTD.
Oh, he was a co-founder. I thought he was just someone who worked on it. I didn't know he was a co-founder. That explains why they didn't let him go then.
I am legally allowed to simp for our own VTubers, asking for a friend. And then says, this was not a Freudian slip, I swear. Yep.
With now context, that's bad. That's real bad.
Never hire a simp to work for a VTuber agency.
True.
Not good. No good things come of that. But here's a statement from Nyanners responding to Vebe's post, saying MTD, the officer, had the audacity to talk smack about you to my face at a party the year that we all left and painted you as some kind of a conniving, greedy, mean girl who was in my ear and manipulated me into leaving VShojo just because you wanted me to join OTK because her boyfriend Soda Poppin is part of that org or for personal gain or some stuff. He got uncomfortably close and up in my face and was like, come on, I know the real reason you left. I know it was because of Vey. She talked you into it.
Who does that? Who goes into someone's face and starts whispering to them, come on, I know the real reason you left. It's creepy. No wonder they wanted to be away from this guy.
Wait a second. You're telling me this guy was acting creepy? You're telling me this guy right here. I can't believe it. Anyways, etc. And it was infuriating. I know he's spread that same stuff to other staff talent and other industry people. Seeing one of my closest friends get dragged through the mud like this for years was awful. You did absolutely nothing wrong and had so much stuff flung at you just because they wanted to push a narrative to protect the company. For him to act like he's completely blameless is insulting. He is a creepy MF, and there's a lot more, obviously, but a lot of it is also not my story to tell.
Considering they have both said that it's not their story to tell about how much creepy things this guy's done, there's going to be a whole slew of things that comes out from the people that he did the things that they don't want to tell their stories. It's only a matter of time. This guy, I was going to say if he's smart, he'd lawyer up, but considering he crashed and burned his company that he co-owned, he doesn't seem like a very smart man.
This dude has been absolutely obliterated, and I'm telling you, I said this on Twitter as well.
They already shared receipts of him trash talking her after she left VShojo, calling her manipulative and greedy at IRL parties. Yeah, he just covered that. Rev here just covered that.
The mountain of stuff that's going to be coming out about not just people like this, but VShojo as a company is going to be insane. All the lids have been pulled off. People are going to feel free to speak. And
you know what's crazy too is VShojo was able to hide in the shadow of Niji Sanji because Niji Sanji was so bad that people VShojo was able to hide in the shadows and point at Niji Sanji and be like, well, at least we're not like that. At least we're not like that. And people gave them goodwill because they brought in a lot of Niji Sanji talents. But little did people know that VShojo was worse than Niji Sanji. And that's saying something because Niji Sanji is bad. When you can't go up, I guess you just crash everything down. Yep. True and real.
They're going to feel very vindicated. And they're going to feel like they're going to be awarded to speak, right? People believe them right now because they know this company is a bunch of shysters and weirdos. And now it's okay. Come out. Like, there's going to be so much more people have to say about this company. But one last reminder, because it is an active campaign. I announced it yesterday officially. We have the new summer drop with Advanced GG.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Support Rev.
New stuff here. 3 new flavor jars, including a rebranding of the Rev's Rocket Pop flavor. We have Rev's Shark Bait, which is a lemonade flavor, as well as Rev's Based Berry Blast, which is a berry flavored jar. We have
I've never
hydration,
tried
energy, and focus, so you
Advanced
can get a jar
or
that fits
Gamer
your
Subs,
needs. And
but
also
I've thought
we have
about
some
it.
new summer merch, including a hat,
I know there's also
a
G
shirt,
Fuel.
as well as a tank top.
Is that G Fuel?
And also-
It's similar to G Fuel.
They brought back one of my old ice shakers.
G Fuel, Gamer Subs, and Advanced GG, I believe that's what it's called, are all like similar. You're not a fan of G Fuel? I've heard good things. I've wanted to try it. I never have though, but I've heard good things. But if you're not a fan, is there any reason as to why? Is it just the flavor, or is there a reason why you didn't care for it? Also, I'm going to just let this video finish out.
If you want to put your flavor jars in it, and high quality stuff as always. I'll put a link to this campaign in the pinned comment, and make sure to use code REV at checkout to get 10% off your total order. This is all available for a very limited time, so act now and take advantage of this very cool deal from Advanced GG. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks, Rev. Good video. Let's drop Rev a like. Very nice. Very, very nice. Alrighty. Let me throw on some background music. Alright, let me close that too. I forgot I still had that open. Alrighty. Do I have any other video that people have sent me to react to? Let me open up my little list that I've written down. Is that it? I think that may have been the last video. I got a G Fuel a few years ago. The flavor I liked is discontinued now, Phase Bear. Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me about that, Naze. Because I've never really drank energy drinks. I have tried a couple of them. Funnily enough, the ones I did try were because of you, Naze. The ones you had given me, not last time you visited, but the time before that. That was my first time trying energy drinks. I'm not usually a fan of them just because I'm an old man and energy drinks and old man do not mix. But I would like to try something that is like an energy drink, but isn't like as powerful. Because I do feel like when I stream, when I'm like already live for like 2 or 3 hours, I start to feel like my energy dip, and I start to feel like I get a little like drowsy, and I want something like to just give me like that little bit of oomph. Normally, I rock coffee, but coffee for me doesn't give me enough oomph. I wanted something like maybe a little stronger. Let's see here. Oh, I do have one more video, but this was one that I wanted to cover on my own because let me set it up. Let me pause it. Are you gonna autoplay when I click you? Okay, I am gonna pause that. All right. So I will start off saying that. Oh, let me pause the music really quick. I will start off saying that I was told that last time I reacted to something like this, I was harsh. And so, since I was told that I was harsh, I decided to react to another video of people who call themselves fat activists. My stance is, and I try to be fair in everything I discuss and every topic I cover. I always try my best to be fair. And my personal stance is, if someone wants to be overweight and they don't care and they're just living their life, I have no issue with that. I have no issue with them. I have no problem with them. I wish them happiness. But if someone is extremely overweight and they're promoting that as being healthy, or being healthy at any size, or that they're just as healthy as someone who isn't as large, that is just an outright lie. There has been lots of study, lots of proof, and lots of evidence to show that it is the opposite, in fact. Being overweight causes a myriad of health issues, and that is my issue with people who call themselves fat influencers or body positivity or healthy at any size. And since I was told before that the last time I reacted to a fat activist that I was too harsh, I want to go over another video and discuss it, because I always try to be fair and I don't like to judge. I just try to give truth and honesty from my point of view. Honestly, there are more cleaner, more natural options out there. It has a lot of caffeine, loads of artificial sweeteners. Yeah, I don't like artificial sweeteners myself. Additives, the flavors aren't even that good to go to your way to find and get. Yeah, that's usually why I stay away from things like that too. Normally, I either just go with water or black coffee. To be fair, I kind of have started dipping my toes into soda again. I've stopped drinking soda for like many years, but I kind of like started dipping my toes in it because it's kind of a guilty pleasure. But yeah. All right. So anyway, let's start the video. People are so sensitive. I agree.
What started with innocent makeup reviews quickly spiraled into a plus-size clown show as JB petitioned for wider hallways, stronger elevators, and bigger airplane seats.
Stronger elevators. Most elevators are like 5,000 pound capacity, or like 2,000 kilos, not 2,000 kilos, like 1,000 kilos, somewhere around there. 2,000 kilos. I don't know. So I'm American. I do freedom units. So why stronger elevators and bigger airplane seats? The airplane is not meant to accommodate that big people. If you want bigger seats, you should pay for more seats.
However, her downfall into delusion seems to have all come to a head in the past couple of months, as JB has found herself thrown into prison. When I looked into the life of JB closer,
into prison? What did she do? Rob her local McDonald's?
I found delusion, begging, hypocrisy, and
okay, that was a little harsh. That was actually a little harsh. Standard passenger elevators usually carry between 2,000 to 4,000 pounds, 900 to 1,800 kilograms, roughly 8 to 15 people. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Honestly, so much worse. But it wasn't always like this, and JB actually started out with pretty standard content. Jalen Chaley officially started her YouTube channel named JB in 2019, and it was a far cry from her fat activist content. And she actually started out doing just standard makeup and fashion reviews, but obviously with her plus...
Yeah, that's fine. I have no issue with that.
...size twist.
Hey guys, thank you so much for...
Yeah, if you're the size to where you need oxygen just to talk and make a video, you should really consider your health. Because what is she, like 25, 28, somewhere in that age range, and needing oxygen at that age. I mean, if you want to be that big and you just want to live your life, more power to you. But trust me, you'll be so much more happier, so much more, you'll feel so much better being at a smaller size.
Coming here to my channel, I'm so excited to share the products that I have that I'm going to unbox for you guys today.
As Jalen introduced us to her channel, the first thing that sticks out is her breathing tube, which is surprising to see considering
that's
she's
sad.
just 22 years old when she
22. She's 22 with an oxygen tube?
posted the video, and it reminds me a bit of Penny from My 600 Pound Life, who was never seen without her breathing tube, despite actually nothing being wrong with her. JB also expands on what she does for a living, or maybe closer to what she doesn't do.
I haven't really addressed it, but right now I've been going through some health issues for the past few months.
And those health issues are pretty clearly related to her weight, as she has recently revealed that she weighs over 500 pounds. And this massive weight is something that's become a focal point of her content, as she started to realise that her clothing videos weren't getting the views that she wanted, except maybe the lingerie try-ons, which I won't be showing here.
That's because that's people who are into fetish content, the people that fetishize really large people and really fat people. I think they're called feeders. Those are the ones that are watching that type of content.
JB decided to pivot slightly, and we can see the seeds of this idea when she uploaded her video titled Fat Shaming Story Time at the end of 2019, and she shared her stories of how she's been shamed for her weight in there.
So anyway, I grew up around a lot of body shaming, a lot of fat shaming, drug addicts, guns, gun violence, gangs, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I had lots of family members tell me I wasn't gonna be shit, I wasn't gonna ever graduate high school because neither of my parents graduated high school.
What does that have to do with fat shaming?
My mom had me when she was a teen, so I was told I was gonna be a slut and have 2 kids by the time I was 17 years old.
When I was a kid, I was told I was probably gonna grow up to be a drug addict, and I kind of thought that too, but I'm not, so it worked out.
I was gonna live off welfare. I was gonna be just terrible, terrible for my entire life because of the people that I came from. And I heard this stuff.
She told us how she's been put down her entire life and really put her victim mentality on full display, but the roots of her fat activism was starting to grow as she shared this delusional monologue which feeds into the healthy at every size movement.
I have had people say all kinds of stuff, tell me all kinds of things, and I proved them wrong, and so can you.
How did you prove them wrong?
Size does not determine health.
Yes, it does. Size determines health quite a bit. There is more than enough scientific evidence to show that weight affects your heart, affects your lungs, affects obviously diabetes and things like that is due to being overweight. Your body wears and tears down way more. Your joints, your knees, everything is affected by weight. I mean, if I was as big as her, I would hope someone fat shamed me. Sometimes bullying is needed. All I'm saying, I agree to an extent. Bullying and shaming has a place, but there are people that use that as an excuse to go to someone and say, "Oh, hey, fatty, blah blah blah," and then someone's like, "Hey, I don't like that," and there's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to better your life." If it's someone you don't know and someone comes up to do that, I think that's just someone being an a-hole. But if it's a family member coming up to you and being like, "Hey, you need to lose weight. Like, you're disgusting the weight you are," I think that's more valid because it's coming from someone you know that at least cares about you. So I do agree to an extent, and I see where you're coming from. But it is situational, in my opinion.
Skinny people saying, judging someone's health by what they look like, how big they are is ridiculous because what about people who smoke? What about people who do all these different things that are unhealthy?
That's bad too. Drinking and smoking is bad. And so is being overweight. You can't claim that your vice is healthy and their vices aren't when both are equally as bad.
Use drugs, drink alcohol every single day. Just because you are skinny does not mean you are healthy.
True. Just because you're skinny does not mean you're healthy. But someone who's skinnier is healthier than you.
Size does not determine health.
It's dangerous for a person who's over 500 pounds to deflect this much. By saying her size doesn't determine her health because smokers are unhealthy is honestly ridiculous, especially when she's admitted herself that she has health issues and literally needs a breathing tube so she doesn't suffocate. Eventually though, she started leaning more and more into this fat activism, and although this is where she gets most of her popularity from, it's also the reason she became infamous in the plus size community.
I mean, she can choose to be this way, and she can choose to be some fat activist, but time will sort itself out, because she will not be long on this earth if she continues down the path that she's going down. And some might say that's rude or mean to say, but it's the truth. You don't see morbidly obese 90-year-olds. You don't see morbidly obese 70-year-olds.
And it all started with a single video. Before we get into that though, it's important to realise that JB started to lean into fact activism not to be just part of the movement, but because those views equaled money to her, as she explained herself.
As a plus size content creator, I have a different set of challenges than other creators do, but I have still made thousands of dollars being a content creator, and I would highly recommend getting into content creating if it's something that you're interested in. Every day I get tons of questions about how I work with brands, how I find different brands, how I've made thousands of dollars as a content creator, and so on.
So as these videos gained views, although it gained her hate, brands actually wanted to work with JB just because of the views and ad revenue. However,
yeah, brands are going to latch on to her for sure, because they can use it as a, well, look, we spread positivity. We're hiring a plus size model. We're hiring a plus size person, so they can virtue signal and essentially use her, I don't want to say disorder, but using her, because it's not a disorder if you choose to be that size, using her unhealthiness as a selling platform or as a springboard to promote themselves.
as we'll see, not all of these viewers were positive. Now with that in mind, JB posted the first of her videos which went mega viral, and that was about plus size travel.
Plus size travel tip. The Boeing 787 and Airbus A350 are the most plus size friendly aircrafts.
This 6-second TikTok got over 1.7 million views alone, and from that point,
Are the planes she just listed that rocket ship on her shirt? Because she's probably going to need that.
Jalen saw dollar signs and decided to go all into her travel TikToks and videos. Videos about her travel tips gained hundreds and thousands of views, and she shares how different airlines operated and how they treat fat people.
Okay, so Alaska Airlines has a similar policy to Southwest Airlines, but it's a little bit different. Alaska Airlines does require that you buy 2 seats ahead of time if you do not fit comfortably in 1 seat.
And that's how it should be. If you're going to take up more space than the average person, then you need to pay for more. It is not up to the company to provide extra large, or in your case, extra large seats. You need to pay for another seat if you're going to be that size, because you don't get to inconvenience other people because you want to be that big. That was so uncalled for. I love it. Sometimes I get a little spicy, but I try not to too much.
And the comments on this TikTok weren't exactly positive, but they're about to get a lot worse, as one of Jalen's videos went mega viral, picking up nearly 7 million views.
People tell me every day that I shouldn't be allowed on a plane because of my size. I'm here to remind you your size doesn't have to hold you back.
She's right. She should be allowed on a plane. She should just be forced to pay for an entire row if she wants to be on the plane.
Some of the comments were absolutely brutal, claiming that this should be a wake-up call, mocking her weight, and people hoping she'd paid for the extra seats. Whether it was these brutal comments or airlines not giving Jalen free seats, JB started to feel as though the world was against her. She even talked about how plus-size people could survive flights, as if getting into a plane was a life-or-death scenario, and shared her next viral video, which gained 17 million views.
Things that plus-size travelers hate. When the tray table can't come down. Worrying about asking for a seatbelt extender, having little to no room to move, narrow aisles and bulkhead seats, tiny airplane bathrooms, worrying you're going to break the toilet.
I was going to say, this should be a gigantic wake-up call for anyone that is that size to be worrying about stuff like that. This should be a gigantic wake-up call that you need to fix yourself. But then I realized that she's monetizing this. She's using it to make money off of and to farm rage off of. And that's her whole shtick. And that's what she's going for, because she knows people are going to get mad at this. and she's knowing that people are going to talk about her. So this is essentially her marketing scheme. And like I said, time will sort this out on its own. Calling anything small when it's normal to everyone else, yikes. I agree with you.
Getting pat down because you're fat. Tiny airport chairs with armrests.
And the comments were brutal yet again, but they were about to get even more brutal as JB started her first petition off the back of these videos.
So I wanted to make this video to talk about everything related to my plus size travel petition. I am advocating for policies and measures to make air travel more comfortable and accessible for plus size travelers. My petition is based on personal experiences of discrimination and discomfort while traveling by myself and with my partner, who's also plus size. We have faced hateful comments, disapproving looks,
Is the aircraft is the aircraft that she's going on called Noah's Ark? Her and her plus sized partner? Never mind.
and even refusal to sit next to us because of our size. The mistreatment of plus-size travelers is absolutely unacceptable, and urgent action is needed to protect the dignity and rights of all passengers, regardless of their size.
Jalen launched her petition, which at the time of recording has around 40,000 signatures, which laid bare her unrealistic demands. The first of these demands, which honestly isn't too bad, is just for flights to have a customer of size policy for tall people, disabled people, and of course, morbidly obese people.
Wait, their policy? I want to go back. The FAA should. Oh, okay, that's what she's fighting for. Okay, I see.
However, the next item on the list is
Why do these people that are fat activists try to lump themselves in with people that have actual disabilities, like people who are in wheelchairs? Just because you are plus sized does not mean you are disabled or have the disability. Someone who's in a wheelchair and needs a wheelchair to be able to function and get by don't have a choice. They're wheelchair bound. You have the choice to lose the weight. There is nothing keeping you fat. Even if you have a medical condition that makes you larger than normal, no one is 500 pounds naturally. You're like 20 pounds overweight if you have a medical condition. You are not ever naturally 500 pounds. I pay extra for extra legroom seats because I'm tall. Exactly. No one is saying we need a tall advocacy group to make pay for extra spaces for tall people.
where it gets really strange and controversial, as she demands that airlines must give morbidly obese people a free seat, or even multiple free seats, so that they don't spill.
They should be provided with free seats. No one should be provided anything. You can only get what you pay for, and you can only get what you work for. No one should be provided or given anything for free. That is not how the world works, and that is not how anyone should expect the world to work. You get what you deserve
Over into the
and what you earn.
next chair.
In a lot of the cases, that's no one deserves anything in this world.
People a free seat, or even multiple free seats, so that they don't spill over into the next chair. Many people have said that this is frustrating, as why should an obese person get an entire row to themselves just for free? Surprisingly, some airlines do actually have a similar customer size policy, and it's led to some extremely shocking news stories. In 2023, a woman booked up and paid upfront for her flight from Montego Bay to Baltimore, where she was traveling with 2 teenagers. However, an obese person needed an extra seat, of course, for free. This led to the woman and the 2 teenagers being kicked off the flight in order to make room for this obese woman, who would not.
Are you kidding me? I doubt I would sue the company, but I'd be pissed.
Not paid for the extra seat and had not told staff that she needed an extra seat beforehand. This is where the fat activism starts to break down, as you get situations.
Yeah, you don't get to inconvenience other people, and you don't get to be a problem for other people because you decided to be the size of a landmass.
Like this in order to prioritize the obese flyers. 3 people, 2 of which are teenagers, who had fully paid, had to be kicked off the flight in order to accommodate 1 person. I don't think it's controversial at all to say the obese person should have been the one to get kicked off the flight and wait for the next one, especially as they didn't book 2 tickets. And JB supports this exact policy, even bringing up Southwest Airlines, who are the.
Of course she supports the policy because it benefits her. Being fat and all that doesn't ultimately matter to her. It's what she can do to get power and control for herself. As long as she can get these companies to bend the knee and give her free stuff, i.e. a free seat, that's all that really matters. She doesn't care about fat people and helping fat people. She cares about helping herself.
culprits in this case,
That's 99.9% of activists.
customer size policy.
Southwest Airlines sets an incredible example by prioritizing passenger well-being by offering a free second seat or reimbursement for the purchase of an additional seat for comfort and safety of those needing extra space. These policies enhance safety and reduces discomfort and health risks associated with cramped plane seating. Southwest Airlines' inclusive customer size policy should serve as a model for other airlines, encouraging them to accommodate plus-size passengers and eliminate discrimination.
Jalen didn't just stop at airlines and their policies, and her downfall into delusion was just beginning, as she began to suggest that hotels were being fat-phobic, and I
Let me guess, the breakfast wasn't complimentary.
really wish I was joking.
These are the exact steps that hotels can take to be more size inclusive and accessible for travelers of all sizes. Number 1 on the list, provide sturdy, wider chairs without armrests in guest rooms, lobbies, and common areas to accommodate different body sizes and types. Number 2 on the list, ensure beds with strong support and a higher weight capacity, along with providing reinforced chairs and wider backing facilities.
If you're breaking furniture simply by sitting and lying on it, you need to do something to better your health and better yourself. There is no reason for you to need reinforced furniture just to sit and lie down. That's crazy. Must have been born in a bakery because she's nothing but dough. She also got some more rolls than a bakery too.
Number 3, make elevators and hallways spacious to allow for easy movement of larger individuals and those utilizing mobility devices. Number 4, install grab bars in showers and near toilets.
Introduce her to that one hotel elevator, the one that didn't go down. Well, it would have went down if she stepped in it.
Offer adjustable handheld shower heads and raised toilet seats for added accessibility. Number 5, train staff to be respectful, understanding, and accommodating to travelers of all sizes.
Her list of demands gets crazier and crazier, and her saying that hallways and elevators need to be wider is just absolutely insane. I've never walked through a hotel hallway and felt like I needed more room, so I'm not sure how wide you have to be to feel that way. Commenters on YouTube had different points too, such as how her raising the height of toilet seats would be absolutely disastrous for people who have real disabilities. As a wheelchair user, raising toilet seats is one of the most inaccessible things they could do. The issue is though that Jalen has now gotten herself so large that she does need a wheel.
I thought he was going to make a pun there. That like she's gotten so large on social media, and I thought he was about to make a play on words, but no, he actually meant just large.
Wheelchair too, and even uses a mobility scooter, which of course was gifted to her by a brand. Now it's safe to
Of course it was gifted her by a brand, because like I said, the brands can use her just like she uses them. It's a symbiotic relationship. They get a claim about how progressive they are by promoting her, and she gets free stuff.
say public perception towards JB has been turning negative for quite some time, as her victim mentality, defensive crazy policies, and unrealistic demands became more and more unhinged. However, what came next was about to make her previous antics look tame. In May of 2024, Jalen took a break from her usual bragging of her paid-for holidays and took a more serious tone, as she uploaded a video of some apparently disgusting discrimination she had faced in SeaTac Airport. Basically, JB requested to be pushed in a wheelchair, but after seeing the sheer size of Jalen, apparently the employee refused and walked away.
Of course the employee is going to refuse to walk away and of course the employee is going to refuse and walk away from pushing her. They're not Sisyphus.
In February of 2025, Jalen talked about it again with a plan for action.
Familiar with my experience at SeaTac where they refused to push me in a wheelchair. You saw that video, and they refused to push me because I was too fat.
Brands aren't your friends and never will be. I don't get why so many people don't see that. Yep. Corporations will always do what benefits corporations. They are never for the people. They will always use and abuse whoever and whatever they can as long as it gives them profit. That's why you have these corporations, not to get political, will put up things for Pride Month. But at the same time, if Pride Month gets pushed back, a lot of them this year put nothing up for Pride Month because the pendulum is swinging in the opposite way currently. So none of them are your ally. None of them care about you. All they care about is making money off of you. And that's how it always has been and always will be.
And they had absolutely no consideration for my physical health, my well-being, my needs, none of the above. Well, I thought maybe I was the only person that happened to experience that, and it was just something that was really uncommon. And then I talked to someone incredible in our community, and they're a much smaller fat person than I am, and they experienced the same damn thing.
Jalen talked about how they had no consideration for her size, but commenters on the TikTok were quick to point out the hypocrisy, as Jalen had no consideration for the employees' well-being, even stating that they legally may not have been allowed to push over 400 pounds, but Jalen did not relent and
Yeah, that's true too. I didn't even think about that. If there's a company policy that you can't be able to push or handle a certain amount of weight, that's a possibility too, why the employee didn't want to do it, but I'm pretty sure he just didn't want the back problems.
continued on her rant.
Ever had a bad experience with CTAC, we would love for you to come out and be part of the protest. Let's show them that they cannot treat people like this. They cannot treat anyone like this, and they cannot treat fat people like this.
I don't know if she's sick or not, but I don't know if she's freaking just trying to struggle to breathe while giving that sentence. I honestly feel bad for her if she wasn't doing it to herself.
Because it's unacceptable and it's discrimination.
Ironic to accuse someone for not caring for her well-being. Yeah, of course, she's gonna blame someone else because it can't be her fault. None of these people know how to take personal accountability. It's not her fault she's fat. It's McDonald's fault. It's not her fault she can't fit in an airplane. It's the company's fault.
And will not be tolerated any longer. So if you want to be a part of this protest, DM me tonight, DM me tomorrow, but let's go ahead and make it happen. We will be at SeaTac Airport Tuesday, February 4th.
I bet you if she told them that there was going to be complimentary snacks at her protest, so many people would show up.
If you want to protest at SeaTac
Mobility scooters everywhere. It'll be like at Walmart.
in solidarity with me, come on by. If you see me at SeaTac, please come up and say hello.
So Jalen had spoke to countless people who had had the same experience of discrimination and who were also outraged for the situation they'd been put in. She had planned a huge protest in retaliation, with all the people in the plus size community to come down and make their voices heard. Jalen uploaded this call to action and gained 140,000 views, with support from the comments and her community. So February 4th rolled in, and so did Jalen at SeaTac Airport, and she kickstarted her protest. However, she was the only attendee.
Yeah, see? Told you. She should have said there was going to be snacks. Then you would have got so many mobility scooters. You would have got American Mario Kart.
Holding up a lonely sign all alone in a pretty deserted airport. People in her comments weren't exactly supportive either. Why should someone risk physical injury to push you? So you're really expecting the average person to be able to push your entire body weight when you can't even walk or get yourself around due to your body weight? Things were heating up for Jalen. The entire internet was having a bit of a pile-on and her videos were more popular than ever. But, like we've seen, it wasn't exactly positive attention. Now, I don't agree with flat-out bullying, but I think it's important to point out the flaws in Jalen's arguments and question why we should accommodate obesity more than other disabilities, and why should obese people have priority over average-sized passengers, like we saw with the Southwest Airlines story. Now, I'm sure the pressure of the internet was taking a toll on Jalen's mental health, as no matter how mentally strong and confident someone can say they are, everyone has a limit.
If you can't handle making content online and you're getting quote unquote bullied by people online, step away, leave. What's the old quote? How is cyberbullying real? Just close your eyes. I forget what that old joke is, but yeah, you're going to receive hate online no matter what you do. And if you can't handle that, if you do not have the thick skin, and she's plenty thick, you need to walk away. If you don't have the mental fortitude to handle it, you need to walk away. Content creation is not for you. You don't get to sit there and cry and complain when you yourself are releasing the content. Step away. Go get a different job. It would be really hard for her to lose weight. It really wouldn't be that hard for her to lose weight. Just one solid meal, only water, and 30 minutes walk a day. I do know for her size that she probably wouldn't be able to walk 30 minutes, but if she went into a swimming pool, that would probably help her because that doesn't put as much stress on your joints if you're in a swimming pool. She could do walk around in a swimming pool for 30 minutes for sure, yeah.
Put that alongside her failing physical health due to her size, the cracks would inevitably begin to show. Now, if you are someone who wants to make a change to your physical health, I'd highly recommend signing up to the Fat Loss Kitchen, where every Friday I'll send you high protein.
Hey, ad. I don't skip the ads. I'll let the guy have his ad since I'm watching his video.
Low calorie meal ideas, all for completely free. Each recipe is specifically made for busy people who are trying to lose weight in a healthy way and are sick of eating the same boring meals, and judging by the reviews we've had so far, it's safe to say people are absolutely loving it. The link is in the description to sign up, and make sure you sign up quick so you don't miss the huge announcement that'll be coming out soon. So make sure you sign up so you don't miss out. Now, back to
What a
Jalen.
cool
These
dude.
cracks showed sooner rather than later, and on the 23rd of February 2025, she posted this video to her Instagram, showing her crying in the car, videoing her feet, and what seems to be her throwing up into a bag.
The joke goes, ha ha ha, cyberbullying real, just close your computer, close your eyes. Yeah, pretty much.
The caption was even stranger too, and she's actually edited it so we can't see what was there in the first.
Man, look at her feet. At her size, she's so susceptible to a blood clot that could kill her by her feet being that swollen.
Place, but it now reads as follows. I am now safe. My perpetrator is going to be served. I have a chat with the police department number. I am safe and his family, and what they have done to me will be exposed. And I'm not threatening anyone, but that's what God has told me to do. Now, it's not clear what was actually wrong with Jalen, except in her bio she states it was abuse and sepsis, but what she did share was a...
Ooh. I know that when you're that large and sepsis occurs, that can kill you because you can't easily be operated on at that size. This lady is throwing her life away, but hey, if that's what she chooses to do, I'm a live and let live kind of guy. You want to be that big, but you cannot expect the world to accommodate you, and you cannot expect the world to change for you. You choose to do that, you choose to live with the consequences.
GoFundMe for people to help her with her journey to healing and safety, as she put it. I don't know why the first thing she does is make a GoFundMe, especially after bragging all over Instagram and TikTok about how she gets free holidays and makes thousands of dollars as an influencer. To me, this is a completely ridiculous thing to do, and people agreed. One person commented that her post was dramatic, and JB actually threatened them with legal action if they didn't remove that comment. But it
Oh no, she's bringing out the lawyers.
gets even worse. JB DM'd another person and continued to insult them, laughing at their physical appearance and even threatened to get them fired from their job.
Does she really have the room to be mocking people's physical appearance? What's that about those in glass houses not throwing stones?
All because they liked a comment calling her dramatic. Now, it's completely ironic that JB, someone who's advocated for the rights of fat people, completely broke down at someone, and the first thing she did was laugh at their physical appearance. And
Yeah, that's true too. I didn't even think about it. I'm a larger person. Accept me for who I am. I'm gonna mock your physical appearance, ugly. Hypocrite. Then again, shocking surprise, she's a hypocrite.
in my opinion, just shows her true colours as an absolute grifter. She doesn't care about the greater good or making the world a better place.
She only cares about
only
herself.
cares if she can make money from it. And if someone tries to
True.
stop her from making money, she
She'll eat
actually
them.
attacks them.
Oh.
Unfortunately for JB, the real trouble was still yet to come, and she would soon face the consequences for her actions. On the 3rd of March 2025, someone on Reddit posted some breaking news. We were tipped off to JB being arrested. Charges include a Class C felony, and her charge sheet wasn't looking good. 1 count of misuse of 911 system, 1 count of resisting arrest and obstructing law enforcement, and finally 1 count of assault and criminal trespass.
How did she resist arrest? I don't think she'd be able to fight off the police unless the police just couldn't escort her and they're just like, look, we can't get you out the door. You're resisting arrest.
Honestly, I'm impressed that her nearly 600-pound body could carry all of these out, and I can't wait for the body cam footage to be released. Now, I'm no expert, but I think the assault charge being felony Class C is quite a big deal, and ChatGPT told me that it could lead to a prison time of 3 to 10 years and fines of up to $10,000, which JB will surely beg for money to pay for. At the time of recording this video, JB hasn't posted any updates since this incident, but has kept the Venmo and Cash App links on her profile.
Not
We can only
surprised.
assume she's still in prison and cannot afford the bail. JB is the prime example of a fat activism grifter.
Well, she went from a plus-size activist to a plus-size prisoner. Let's hope the jail cells accommodated her and they got her 2 cells.
As soon as she realized she can make money from travel videos, posting rage bait online, and get rewarded while doing so, she lent into it even more, causing her worldview to get more and more twisted and delusional. She kept her victim mindset throughout, causing her to pay the ultimate price and lose all respect of the internet.
Challenge 1, get her out of the room. Challenge 2, get her out of the building. Challenge 3, get a SWAT car. Challenge 4, get Jesus because you're going to need it.
Now, if you want to see more influencers who are part of the body positivity movement and met a very predictable end, click the video that's on your screen now, and make sure you sign up to the Fat Loss Kitchen and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
That was a good video. Fat influencers are dying. Yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen. If you're that size, time is going to sort you out. And I'm a person that says, if you want to be that way, be that way. But don't claim that you're healthy. Don't claim that you're perfectly fine, because you're not. And science proves that and has proven that for years. Let's drop this bad boy a subscribe and a like. There we go. Alrighty. I am going to run and do a quick bathroom break. I think I'm now officially out of videos to react to. Those are all the videos that were sent to me. And that one I wanted to watch on my own, that last video, the fat activist video, because I was told that I was too harsh. So I decided to react to another fat video. So I wanted to do that. I'm going to do a quick bathroom break. If anyone else has any recommendations, you can let me know. But if not, I'm going to BRB, toilet break. 1 second. Alrighty, I am back. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Well, I think today we reacted to quite a few videos, and I think that's probably a good place to call it because I don't really have anything else to react to. So, bit of a shorter stream tonight, but we managed to get all the reacts done that people linked to me and wanted me to react to. So we managed to get all that done. So I think that's a good place for me to call it today. I'm gonna probably get some stuff done before bed. I gotta edit some videos, which I'll upload to my YouTube by the way. Follow my YouTube. I should probably reactivate that old YouTube Nightbot command. Is that still active, Naze? Do you know that? Like, is it still dormant? So I can just turn that back on from my Nightbot actions. Let me pull up Nightbot. Because I might as well activate that again, so that way it can just advertise my YouTube for me like it does my Discord. At least I remember having one. Well, if it does, cool. If it doesn't, then I'll just make one. But yeah, I think that's a good place for me to call it for tonight. I got to edit some videos and I got to do some other stuff before bed. Tomorrow, or next stream rather, I'm probably going to play a game. What game am I going to play? I don't know. There's an old Steam group command. Oh, okay. I'll make a YouTube one, like how it says, join my Discord. I'll make a YouTube one at some point. Yeah, like the one that says Discord. Make sure to join and blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'll just turn that Steam group one into, I'll change that Steam group one to a YouTube one, because I don't use that Steam group at all. I made it, I don't know how long ago, because people asked me to, and I've never done anything with it. So I'll just make a YouTube one at some point. But either way, I got to do some stuff before bed. I got to edit videos. It'll probably be some of the videos I watch tonight and throw those to be edited. But either way, that is going to be it for me tonight, everyone. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm probably going to play a game. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Naze. Is there a way so it can auto-proc, like every 30 minutes or whatever, like the Discord one does? Put it on a timer? Yeah. I forget what my Discord one. I think my Discord one's like every hour or every half hour. I forget. Alrighty. What game should I play? I need to find a game to play tomorrow. Oh, maybe I should just do more Uma Musume. Maybe I can do. I can try to do a full win on Urara Disco Elysium. Yeah, I have that too lined up. I've been meaning to do that. I can get that done too. I guess I could try that Disco Elysium. Why not? That's probably what I'll do next stream. Alrighty then, because then you can do more rants about politics. True. I do love complaining about the government. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Alrighty then. That is it for me tonight, everyone. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. Any of VOD watchers, make sure to follow me at twitch.tv/crackskulls. Make sure to follow me on YouTube. Throw a like, throw a sub, throw a comment. And that's going to be it for me today. Have a good night. Take it easy, and I'll catch you later. See ya.